I'm Nate Putterwell with your sports update. The Ohio State women's basketball team begins dancing today. It's the first round of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. The third-seeded Buckeyes play host to 14th seed Howard out at the Shot. Tip comes your way at 11:30 a.m. We'll have fan coverage coming your way at 11:15 immediately following Fan Sports Saturday. The Columbus Blue Jackets are on an 11-game point streak. They look to extend that to 12 this afternoon as they take on the Kraken. Puck drops at 5. Catch all the action right here on the Fan. And it's the second round of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. The action kicks off at noon as top-seeded Michigan takes on St. Louis. Other Big Ten teams in action today see third-seeded Sparty taking on 6th-seed Louisville, third-seed Illinois taking on 11th-seed VCU, and 4th-seed Nebraska matching up with 5th-seed Vanderbilt. Other action sees Duke taking on TCU, Houston and Texas A&M squaring off, Gonzaga and Texas, and High Point taking on Arkansas. Breaking sports news, what happens to the Fan? Ohio Sports Destination.
The Fan is live and local with Fan Sports Saturday. The Fan Sports Day of the Week. Oh, this is some clever branding. Here's your host, place, name, here.
And then there were 32. Happy Saturday. Welcome to spring. Yes. Eric Rieser, Jeff Thidoff, you heard Nate there in the update. Was less mad yesterday, Friday than Monday, a round of 64 of the NCAA tournament. But we'll take it. Because it's the best.
Yes.
Is it the best way to decide who was the best? No, but it's the most fun thing in sport, in my opinion. We love a good bracket. Tito, how you doing?
I'm a little depressed now.
Oh.
Because Thursday and Friday, so much fun.
Yes.
When I go to bed on Sunday, we'll be down to 16 teams.
Yes.
I wish it would just stay at 64 all the way through the tournament. Have days like Thursday and Friday. I know you couldn't do it. I understand logically.
Trying to now play it out.
Wouldn't work.
How many teams you'd have to have?
Yes.
Thursday and Friday to give you your I want 64 remaining when I go to bed Sunday.
Yes, that's what
Almost
happened.
Every team in Division I would have to be involved.
Yes. And you know what?
We're not far from it.
That's fair.
So if Charlie Baker had comments this week that, we'd love to expand the NCAA tournament because they're just mid-majors that we left out. And there are other teams that, deserve a spot at this thing. We want to give more opportunity to the student athletes. That's what they're all about at the NC2A is the opportunity for the student athlete. Don't look at the giant pile of money we're shoveling into our trucks as we back out in Indianapolis.
Right.
Just look at the student athlete and think about them. We got a short show. You heard Nate talk about the Ohio State women's basketball team. I think Kevin McGuff watched TCU and Ohio State, and he pointed to his team, and he said, see what the team in the black jerseys is doing? Do that. 40 minutes.
Yeah.
40 minutes of doing that, and we'll advance. Look, they're 5 touchdown favorites today.
They're going to advance no matter.
Against Howard
no matter,
at the Shot.
Yeah, no matter how they play, they're going to advance.
Earmuffs, Kevin McGuff and company, but they're probably going to play on Monday, but we'll have that game for you on the Fan. You'll have your Ohio State network coverage starting at 11:15, so we got to bump off a little bit early. We're happy to do it.
Yes,
because there's, I think, only 2 Ohio teams in the women's bracket remaining. Or maybe just one. And then Dayton is representative of the Buckeye State in the NIT. Everybody else, the 4 Ohio teams in the men's tournament, have bowed out in the round of 64. Going back to yesterday not being the most interesting day outside of that wild Kentucky-Santa Clara game, I think you had UCF and UCLA was pretty close, but I think the Bruins were only like 5-point favorites in that, so even the people in Vegas told you, like, this is going to be a close game.
Yeah.
You get Nick Cronin onto the next round, and they've got UConn, who, outside of a Herculean performance out of Terrace Reed, got past Furman. This from ESPN's Jeff Borzarello. Not only are there just 4 double-digit seeds left in the men's NCAA tournament, not only did all favorites win yesterday, the games haven't been particularly close. Per ESPN research, the average margin of victory in the first round was 17.4 points. That's the highest since the tournament expanded in 1985.
Wow.
So,
but as far as the way the tournament's gone so far, though, I mean, I understand, yes, I like closer games, and we saw some stuff. We'll get into that. But, like, I don't want, like, chaos all the way through, upsets all the way through. I didn't
you
really
want
like
chalk.
For most of it, yes.
The further we get into this,
I didn't like the George Mason Final Four run. I didn't really give me the 4 best, give me the 4 blue bloods. It's fun for a weekend.
I do think there's a majority. You're in the majority of that. I think I might be in the minority that wants a Cinderella or 2.
Yeah,
upsetting things in the Final Four. I mean, it doesn't look like you might Duke, maybe. They've got the toughest row to hoe. Although I guess Michigan does have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar today. So maybe. I think Arizona might have a brisk walk. I think they might have Arkansas might be the only hiccup they face. Florida feels like they're just going to roll right to Indianapolis.
Like, yeah. Yep.
So I don't know if you'll get too much from Cinderella in this NCAA tournament, but again, those 4 double-digit seeds are your only hope. Chalk the rest of the way. This program, again, busy. We have Dylan Tyrer from the Blue Jackets Radio Network coming up at 9:30, and then we'll have Tyler Danberg. He's going to be calling Ohio State and Howard for the Ohio State Sports Network. He'll join us at 10:30 before he's got to do his real job at 11:15. The Blue Jackets, as also you heard Nate in the update, are on an 11 game point streak, a 3-game win streak. They're 18-2-4 since January 11th.
Amazing. It's amazing.
And they are firmly entrenched in a playoff battle, and they will be for the rest of the way, which is 14 games left to go this season. So what we're going to do, along with Dylan Tyrer working this morning, he's going to give you half an hour extra Blue Jackets pregame coverage tonight and tomorrow. So tonight against the Seattle Kraken, we'll have Jackets pregame coverage at 4 o'clock. And then tomorrow at the New York Islanders, 6 o'clock for Jackets pregame coverage. That's, I would say, one of the biggest games they've got for the rest of the way.
They got 2 with Boston still coming up. 2
with Boston, a pair with Carolina.
Yep.
You're not going to catch the Hurricanes, but it does feel like the easiest path for the Jackets into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Is the Metro.
Yeah.
Is either 2 or 3 in the Metropolitan Division, less the wild card. You've also got the Detroit Red Wings coming up at the beginning of April. So plenty of opportunity awaits for the CBJ, who are scoring goals off other people's heads.
That was so cool.
The other night with Connor Garland. Absolutely how he drew it up. Absolutely how he practiced it.
That's how they do it.
Kind of like Kent Johnson in the Michigan goal. He just practiced it a bunch.
Right.
They had the emergency e-bug, the emergency goalie just kind of skate around and be like, all right, let me see if I can knock this off your helmet into the goal. But when the Blue Jackets can put 6 goals on the New York Rangers and Rick Bowness at the end of that game saying, yeah, we didn't play our best, we still won.
And you're going to have to win games like that.
Yep.
You're going to have to.
They scored 6.
Right.
On the New York Rangers. And I know the Rangers are down this season, but they solved Igor Shesterkin, and they even came back after, it was Vinny Trocheck, had an empty or a shorthanded goal to draw first blood the other night. Like, you were able to rebound from that.
Right.
And put 2 goals each period en route to, and Tyvus. Job at him firing the cannon on Thursday.
That's the only reason I didn't like the win for the Jackets.
What?
Yeah. You have any idea how Tyvus now, how much he feels like he's the reason they won? He won't say it publicly. I know he won't say it. I know Tyvus. Maybe he did. But, Tyvus has taken some credit for this, the Jackets win. And that's the part that's a little bothersome, because now he's going to bug the Jackets to do it all the time and say, hey, look, you guys are undefeated when I light the cannon, when I fire the cannon.
Yeah, he might be unbeaten when he's at Nationwide Arena, too. I don't know how many games he's been to. Maybe it's a handful. Like, I can count them on my one hand, plus the Stadium Series game. I don't think they've lost.
Did the Guards win when he threw out the first pitch?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so then at least we got that.
Did you see what happened with Cleveland yesterday? So everybody's wrapping up spring training. The Mariners scored 20 runs in 6 innings. It's a hell of a way to wrap things up in the Cactus League before you've got MLB opening day on Thursday. We're your Central Ohio home for the Reds. They've got the Red Sox for their first series. That'll be Thursday for both. Reds and Red Sox at 4:10. Guardians and Mariners, a late night, way past Eric's bedtime, coming up on Thursday. But we'll have Reds and Red Sox over on the Fan, too.
I do the same thing every year. I get excited about the Reds, and then about a week later, I'm like, oh, spring football, huh? Squirrel. Yeah.
It's the blob that consumes everything, right? Rolling down Main Street, eating cars. Ohio State's back from spring break on Tuesday, pro day Wednesday, practice again Thursday, culminating in that spring game on April 18th. That'll be the biggest thing.
Titus's comments bother me.
Tyvus's comments?
No, Titus.
Mark Titus.
Yes.
Former Ohio State walk-on.
Yeah.
Now with Barstool Sports.
Did you see what he said?
I did see what he said. So we have his audio, and we can give it a rip if you'd like. Is it the final play that his comments you had umbrage with, or his shot at Ohio State fans?
The shot at Ohio State fans.
So this was on Wake Up Barstool, I believe Friday morning. Everybody in Ohio State fandom is doing a postmortem on this game. Mm-hmm. And Mark Titus took Ohio State fans to task.
We have the worst fans in the world, Ohio State.
Come on.
Ohio State basketball fans are the worst fans in the world. They're the worst.
What do you mean
they're literally worse, because they watch football all year. They don't even pay attention to the basketball program. They like parachute in around like late January, early February. They look up the rankings, and if we're not ranked in the top 10, they're just like, everything sucks, fire everybody, this is terrible. They have no idea what they're talking about. They don't only know the names of the players, and they bitch like they want us to be a top 10 program, which I do too, but like, where's that? The reason the top 10 programs are the top 10 programs is because they carry themselves like top 10 programs 365 days a year, and the fans are invested in the program, and people are coming to the games, and the people are like studying the recruits, and like they pour their passion into this. They don't just like pop in and say like, oh, we're in the tournament, okay, I'll sit down and watch this game, and then we lose the game and you're like, fire the coach. It's absurd.
He's half right.
Which part?
The parachuting in.
That is totally accurate.
But that's not on.
Don't try to tell me Michigan fans are focusing on basketball during football season.
It's not on the fans, in my opinion. Are there sections of every fan base that are toxic? Yes. Were there fans that wanted to fire Jake Diebler at points during the season, and then after they bowed out to TCU? Yes. But these fans have expectations, and when you're Ohio State and you go 4 years without a tournament win, I don't think it should be on the fans to support the team. It's got to be on the team to meet the expectations set by the fan base.
But, Reese, isn't it also, though, it's the way Ohio State forces us to consume it. And what I mean by that is you look at how much is around the football program, how much energy they put in promoting the football program, and how much it's, and we know football's the king here, but like how much it is a focus of the athletic department. That's where they put their money, most of it, right? The money goes, football makes it go round.
Yes.
You've got the way that the football season is scheduled also works in that favor. It's once a week, versus like a Tuesday night game in Northwestern or something, or a Thursday game at USC that starts at like 10:30. So it's easier to consume Ohio State football, but it's also the way the university presents it to us. And so, the fans parachute in. They absolutely do. You know why? Football ends in January. Football drives everything, and football picks back up, and we start talking football in March again.
Yeah, it's not new.
No, they're not the worst fans. They're not the worst fans. You might want, if Ohio State, like you said, if Ohio State is the Thad era, they'd be more popular.
Yeah. I mean,
they would be.
You will never eclipse Ohio State football, but that's been the thing forever.
And it should be that way.
Whether it should or not, I guess I look to Mark and I go, what's surprising you about that?
Yeah.
Because it does feel like he's surprised and not thrilled with how things are, but it's how things have always been. And I'll look to the program itself as being responsible for meeting expectations of fans. Thad set the expectation. Chris Holtman couldn't meet the expectation, and so he was dismissed. And they went with Jake Diebler. And fair or not, the two coaches that were also in conversation with Ohio State, Dusty May, who's now at Michigan, John Calipari, who's now at Arkansas, have their teams with legitimate championship expectations. And so you're always going to be on that path, Jake Diebler, Dusty May, and John Calipari, because they were hired at their schools at the exact same time. And you've seen the direction two programs are on right now, and you see the trajectory of an Ohio State program that is on the up.
Yes.
Now, what will happen with the basketball Buckeyes? Now that's the next question in the post-Bruce Thornton era. We'll discuss that next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon. Even if this promo is playing in the morning, no judgment.
Ah, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
Columbus, it's time to gear up. The Open Season Sportsman's Expo, presented by Progressive and Can-Am, returns this Friday through Sunday at the Ohio Expo Center. Bring the family to see Twiggy the water skiing squirrel. Shop hundreds of exhibitors and get hands-on with the latest hunting gear, equipment, outfitters, and land management. Learn from expert seminar speakers and bring your buck for the Trophy Deer Contest with more ways to win big. Fueled by Toyota, the official truck, and Tacticam, the official cell camera of the Open Season Sportsman's Expo. Get discounted tickets now at OpenSeasonSportsman'sExpo.com.
Forget the pot of gold. Save some green at Coghlan Chevrolet. Lease a new 26 Chevy Trax, $169 a month. New 26 Equinox, lease for $229 a month. Or lease a new 26 Silverado, $359 a month. Visit CoglinChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
39-month lease. Silverado 36-month lease. $39.99 due at signing plus tax, title, and license. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/26.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor and call a Groundworks company. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Ohio Basement Authority, a Groundworks company.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners, only 30 calories, just 5 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. That great Pepsi taste with even more to love. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Save big money on everything for your next project at Menards. Update your home with Palmero vinyl plank flooring. It provides a genuine weathered wood look that complements any decor and clicks together for easy installation. It's waterproof and scratch and dent resistant, making it perfect for active families. Save big money on our wide variety of flooring options at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
The madness is on and the deals are going full court at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Drive home the Powerhouse 2026 Tundra at 2.99% APR for up to 72 months and $1,000 Toyota financial cash. That's a slam dunk offer. Or you can drive home in the always reliable 2026 Camry LE for just $269 a month for 36 months, 10,000 miles a year, and $36.99 due at signing. Don't sit on the sidelines. Hustle into Germain Toyota of Columbus on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
Hey, Columbus, big news. For a limited time, get Uber One free for a full year so you could save on food and rides. That's a $96 value on us. Just use code Columbus. Get 1 year of $0 delivery fees, 10% off eligible food and grocery orders, and up to 6% Uber One credits on rides. Sign up for this limited time offer today using code Columbus and save big with Uber One. Offer valid through 3/31/26. Savings and $0 delivery fee on eligible orders and rides only. Fees and terms apply. See app for details.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
We're hiring at Don's Garage Doors. No experience? No problem. We provide full training, a brand new van, top-of-the-line tools, a gas card, and steady jobs with weekly pay. This isn't just a job. It's a career with real growth, great pay, and job security. Our team members go from training to 6 figures, and we're ready to help you do the same. Don't wait. Apply now at donsgaragedoors.com.
The Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is the place to be for all the basketball action. Watch every game at once on 2 video walls spanning 50 feet, plus over 30 TVs. Come show off your jump shot in our King of the Court drawings and take home memorabilia from a Cleveland basketball legend. We've also got unbeatable game day food and drinks all season long. Guarantee your spot. Reserve a table with up to $300 in dining credits at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll plan on lots of sunshine for the afternoon and pleasant high temperatures in the middle to upper 60s, gentle breezes. Really hard to beat that this time of year. Mostly clear skies overnight. Lows fall to around 50. Tomorrow, it's a warm one with highs around 80, turning breezy for the afternoon as well. Partly sunny skies and some scattered showers and storms develop later in the afternoon and evening. For The Fan, I'm 10 TV Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan. Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
And the madness is here for Ohio State women's basketball. The Buckeyes face Howard today in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Coverage begins at 11:15 a.m. live right here on The Fan. Chasing the Championship is presented by Logan Services, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Rieser, Tito, Nate, till 11:15 when Tyler Danberg is going to take the air. He's also going to join us at 10:30 to preview Ohio State and Howard today and everything else that's gone on in the women's tournament. Tito, I was trying to figure out who the other Buckeye State representative was in the women's bracket. It's the Miami Redhawks.
Oh, okay.
They're the MAC champion, the 13 seed. I don't love to talk about them because they love to talk about themselves. You know, they're a public Ivy, if you didn't know. They've got West Virginia and Morgantown at 5 o'clock. I had said earlier in the week that for Travis Steele and the men's Red Hawk squad, they were going to need to shoot better than 50% from the field or 50% from three to beat Tennessee yesterday. I think they were like 6 of 29. Like they shot similarly from beyond the arc to Ohio State against TCU. Yeah. And that ain't going to do it if you're Miami, and that's kind of your bread and butter. 7 of 29 for the Red Hawks yesterday against the Tennessee Volunteers. And they lost by 20. Luke Skaljak had been dealing with a wrist injury for the last month. He only played 25 minutes yesterday. He was 2 of 4 from the field. I'll tell you what, if Ohio State wants to make a little offer for the services of Skaljak, the sharpshooting sophomore, I wouldn't hate it. Ohio State's got a roster to rebuild now.
They do.
I saw this from Jeremy Birmingham. Catch him in Austin talking about Ohio State everything on the Fans YouTube and 10 TV Plus. But hiring a general manager is one of the priorities for Ohio State hoops this offseason.
Yes, that's the third most important thing.
What would you put in terms of rank them for me? So GM's third. Number 2?
Number 2 is keeping Mobley.
And number 1?
Keeping Bynum.
Okay. I like that.
I mean, because, look, the great, terrible thing about Bynum playing so well down the stretch, and especially in the high-profile NCAA, the Big Ten tournament, the NCAA tournament, the great and terrible things about that are that now someone's going to come and make an offer to him.
Yes.
You know, and someone who maybe doesn't
probably already made an initial offer,
and it's probably a program that spends more on worries more about basketball than football, and so I am curious to see how that plays out. But having him and Mobley back with the recruiting class he got coming in, it's huge if they can keep both Bynum and obviously Mobley.
What about Devin Royal?
Okay, Devin Royal will be right after the GM thing. Because I like Devin Royal quite a bit, too.
If Devin Royal wants a raise, I would say go find one. Amari Bynum, Junie Mobley, I'm okay with giving raises, too.
Yes.
But, because you're not like, look, Anthony Thompson and Alex Smith aren't coming to Ohio State for free. And Anthony Thompson, if they're projecting him to be a starter, to be one of the starting 5 next season.
Yeah.
And I asked Jacob Reimer, television's own Jacob Reimer.
Yes, YouTube sensation.
Is he ready for that? Reimer gave me an emphatic yes.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you know you paid for it.
Yeah.
Because you have to in this. So if Royal's going, I need a little bit more. It was nice having you. Hopefully come back and visit your family. Obviously he's from Central Ohio, but yeah.
I still think Royal's an important piece.
Is he more important, though, than who you're bringing in?
No.
Is a Bruce Thornton replacement on this roster? So your floor general, probably not Junie Mobley.
Probably not.
You would like him to have evolved to that.
Right.
It didn't happen this season.
I think you'll see a transfer come in.
Okay. You got to pay for it.
I know. And I'm not thinking it'll be a star at another Power 4 school. It might be somebody who's working their way up through, like, say, the MAC or something else, that would come up or a grad transfer, a grad guy who might come in, something like that you might see. Because I think Ohio State's got a great opportunity next year if the roster stays pretty much intact and they hold on to these guys that are the recruits that are coming in. Then I think that it'd be a very attractive spot for maybe a really good point guard on a team that doesn't have much hope and is not that visible.
I've heard numbers for Gabe Cupps. He won't be on your starting 5 next season, but I would be okay if they retained his services off the bench. So there's somebody that can spell, to your point, a transfer floor general.
Right.
Because I thought he played better in terms of coming off the bench, running the offense, playing defense. He had some big shots in key moments for Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament and in their game against TCU. So there's enough there for me to say, you can maybe keep the same number. You can keep the same allocation for him. Not getting a raise.
No, not getting a raise.
You can't give him less because that's just not the way things work around here. But I'd be all right with it.
Yeah, I don't ever want him in the starting five.
No, he won't. He's not. It's not that. But you do need depth.
Yeah.
Because you saw what not having a bench did.
Sure.
And with everything that was done this season for Jake Diebler, you have to build on it next year. So that includes having depth at your bench that can come in and score. They can actually give you meaningful minutes and score points. I don't know what the hell is going to happen with Ivan Yagovin. I remember thinking in the first half of that TCU game, because Christoph Tilly just did not want to play big. And I go, well, how about Yagovin in this instance? You go Yagovin and Bynum. And then Yagovin went in, and no, can't play that.
Right.
But he'll probably be back on the roster. Maybe can develop into a big that wants to play big.
Yeah. I mean, to me, Tilly's feel like one of those guys who doesn't realize how big he is.
Was it Raftery and Grant Hill on the broadcast? Yeah. Were begging Tilly and Bynum at points, begging Ohio State's offense to get the ball down low to them. Yeah. And they just didn't.
Yeah, the rebounding was a big issue in the first half, and then also they did not force it down low as much as they should have.
And with a loss like that, with how the last 2 years have gone, the fire Jake Diebler crowd got louder. But that's what's going to happen in an instance like this. So I have to understand. You don't have to, and I don't ever want to sound preachy to Ohio State fans.
Right.
He's going to be back.
Yes,
he's going to be allowed to coach this group that he's bringing in and this roster. However, there needs to be another tournament run next year. You cannot miss the tournament next season.
That I agree with.
And make an argument for retaining the coach.
Unless there's massive injuries or something like that,
It would have to take something extreme.
Yeah. So it's, but if you look at where, like, I feel like Diebler, and I know, look, take the last play out of the game because I know that he
can't though.
Well, I'm saying though,
that's the biggest. That was such a word. I remember we were talking last week about Ohio State's inability in late game situations to inbound the ball and to draw up successful plays out of timeouts.
Right. Against
Michigan in the first half and in the end of that game in the Big Ten quarterfinal, it was like, act like you've been there before or you haven't been there before. So you're acting accordingly. And then against TCU, you had a timeout.
Right.
And then you had 4 seconds. And that's what you drew come out of the timeout?
That was bad. Yeah, that was bad.
Because you bring Christoph Tilly that deep to where he's 2 feet away from Thornton. You're bringing an extra defender.
Yes.
So you've already got, if you want to insist on throwing to Tilly and having Tilly hand the ball off, put Tilly at half court.
Yes.
Or maybe Bruce Thornton's not your fastest player either. So 4 seconds is a lot of time. 4 seconds isn't a lot of time. And you wasted almost a second with the handoff.
You did. I would just say, though, there are other areas of the way the team grew from adversity halfway through the season.
They fought their asses off down 15. Right. That's such a tip of the. I'll tip my cap to that.
Yes, but even through the way they finished their season, though, like when their backs against the wall, the win against Purdue,
coming out
Penn State, Indiana,
loss.
Yes, and Indiana was playing for something there. Like it was not not a throwaway game up in Rochester.
No, I mean Purdue kind of went into a tailspin after that loss.
Yeah.
Now they won the Big Ten championship, but to your point, that's what made Thursday so frustrating because I with what I had seen from this team, it shouldn't have manifested. It should have taken a 15-point deficit to figure things out.
Fair.
Now Jake Diebler made proper adjustments. You got Mobley going, you got Bynum going in the second half a little bit more, but it felt so much to me, Tito, and I don't know if you feel this way, that the Miami game against the Hurricanes in the college football playoff, where this is on tape, guys.
Yeah,
they didn't feel adequately prepared for the moment. Went into halftime, made some proper adjustments.
Right,
but you've already kind of dug yourself into such a hole. You need to play almost perfect.
Something I asked the other day on the Morning Juice was, what's a tougher loss? The way Ohio State lost, or the way North Carolina lost? Ohio State came back and then lost. North Carolina blew a 19-point lead and lost. Which one do you think is tougher on a fan base?
North Carolina's.
Think so? The big lead, losing it?
You lost the 19-point blown lead, I think, was the largest in the first round of the tournament ever.
I think it was, yes.
And one of the first round of the tournament ever, and one of the largest in the NCAA tournament of all time. So that's got legitimate heat for QB Davis on his season.
Yes. Also, you're North Carolina. You should be better than that.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, in general, though, would you rather lose a game where your team made a big comeback, or lose a game where your team blew a big lead?
Blowing the big lead's worse. I want so much for this to be successful for Jake Diebler, and I wanted so much for Bruce Thornton to be not one and done, because when that game goes final, he misses the shot. It's it. That's over.
Yeah,
the career's done. And my heart feels for him because of what he's given to this program, where he could have left, but he stayed, and he turned them into winners. And I there's a lot to be proud of, but there's a lot you wish you could have back.
Yeah.
Blue Jackets have 14 games left to go this season, and a huge opportunity in front of them tonight against the Kraken, tomorrow against the New York Islanders. Dylan Tyrer from the Blue Jackets Radio Network. He'll join us in 2 minutes. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Take your shot to save at Great Lakes Hyundai. Shoot the hoop to get extra savings on your new car purchase. On top of big shot savings like 0% financing on 26 Hyundai Santa Fe's and Tucson's for up to 5 years. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. It's the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Dublin or Columbus or GLakesHyundai.com. With Pro Credit, some customers may not qualify. Interest accrues during no payment period. New Hyundais come equipped with owner assurance and America's Best warranty. 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Offer ends 3/31.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I talk to you about Weed Man every year. Why? Simple. Number one, I use it. Number two, it works. You want to get those lawn roots thick, baby, because when that happens, they resist weeds, disease, and insects, and they're using top-of-the-line stuff. We're talking golf course quality. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will take care of you. Proudly serving Central Ohio and our Dayton friends. Call your local office, 614-733-3747, weedman.com.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1-2-3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra. Exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
The Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is the place to be for all the basketball action. Watch every game at once on 2 video walls spanning 50 feet, plus over 30 TVs. Come show off your jump shot in our King of the Court drawings and take home memorabilia from a Cleveland basketball legend. We've also got unbeatable game day food and drinks all season long. Guarantee your spot. Reserve a table with up to $300 in dining credits at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
T-Bone and Tyvis are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
I mean, it's every Saturday.
Yes.
Extra annoying Rieser and Tito along with Nate. Saturday Spectacular goes out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan and guest hotline. Dylan Tyrer, the Blue Jackets Radio Network, is doing a little bit of overtime. Pleasure to have you on with us this morning. But then today and tomorrow, 30 extra minutes of local pregame coverage. We'll start with tonight's game against the Seattle Kraken, Dylan. A chance for the Jackets to make it 4 straight wins and a 11-game point streak. If you're a Blue Jackets fan that's just right now kind of jumping onto the bandwagon, or I guess a casual sports fan jumping onto this Blue Jackets bandwagon, what would you tell them about how this team has gotten to where it is, third in the Metropolitan Division?
Well, thanks, guys, for having me. I would tell the average fan out there that this team is just playing quality hockey. They're playing about as good as any Blue Jackets I've seen in the last 10 or so seasons. They're getting an effort from every line. They have 4 complete lines right now. It feels like everybody's chipping in on the blue line. They're getting solid goaltending, and obviously they have a lot of belief out of their head coach. What I would tell you is the Blue Jackets, they had everything they needed in the dressing room to start this season. You know, they stumbled a little bit out of the gates. They weren't awful. Then it got to around Christmas time, and the Blue Jackets started to lose some traction. At that point, general manager Don Waddell felt like he had to make a move and go with a new head coach. Dean Evison out, enter Rick Bowness. And I think Rick Bowness coming in gave the Blue Jackets, something to hold on to, something to grab onto. I think the team was missing answers at that point. Why are we not winning these games? Why can't we close these games out? Bowness came in and he made it easy. He said, you guys are giving up too many high-danger chances. You guys are giving up too many shots on goal, and you're not playing aggressive enough. So the Blue Jackets tried to change all of those things, and ever since then, they've been absolutely dynamite. I believe 17-2-4 since Rick Bowness took over, one of the best teams in the NHL, and all that stuff I talked about off the bat, just the complete team effort that it's taken. That's why the Blue Jackets have gotten into the position they are.
Dylan, we've heard nothing but great things since Bonus came on board. You mentioned just the record 17-2-4, which is phenomenal. We've heard stories about Werenski, how happy he is, Merzlikins. Is there anybody on the roster that Bonus's hiring has been bad for?
Maybe Dmitry Voronkov, because he's come out of the lineup here lately. But, I think players dictate whether or not they're in the lineup. So, Voronkov was challenged to add more to his game, to be able to be a better two-way player, to be able to keep pace with the Blue Jackets offensively. And I just think that the style that the Blue Jackets are playing right now maybe doesn't lend itself to what Dmitry Voronkov does. And, Bonus has given him opportunities to get back in the lineup. And, the fact that Voronkov hasn't stuck in the lineup tells you that there's more to be desired there. So that's probably the only thing I could tell you, because overwhelmingly it's brought more out of pretty much everybody's game in this lineup. You look at the first line, Adam Fantilli's a point-per-game player since Rick Bowness took over. Kirill Marchenko's a point-per-game player since Rick Bowness took over. Charlie Coyle has absolutely exploded. He's the Blue Jackets' top scorer since Rick Bowness took over. And Zach Werenski is a point-per-game player since Rick Bowness took over. So that's 4 guys playing at a point per game or better. It's certainly woken up this lineup.
Yeah, Dylan, I want to talk about that fourth line real quick, that Lundestrom, Jenner, Heinen line. It feels like every time they're on the ice, they're productive. Like there's not a wasted movement or a wasted moment for those guys. Was it for Rick Bowness a matter of throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks? Like what's clicking with them so well?
Oh, no, it's not that at all, actually. Rick Bowness, the way that he has the lines right now is it's pretty darn intentional. The fact that Boone Jenner is playing fourth-line center is very intentional. I think that came as a surprise to maybe some in the media, and I'm certain a lot of Blue Jackets fans out there. Boone had been playing in a top-6 role essentially all season for the Blue Jackets. When Bowness took over, Jenner was playing on the wing on the Blue Jackets' second line. Bowness kind of looked at things and he said, you know what, I think we need to create a little bit better balance. I'm still going to get Boone his minutes on the penalty kill. He's still going to play at the end of games, so he's going to be out there, 12, 13, 14 minutes a night. But he wanted better balance in the Blue Jackets lines. How could he do that? Put Boone Jenner at center ice on the fourth line. He also said he wanted to see Boone a little bit more active. Coaches will say, I want to see a guy's feet moving a little bit more. And he thought that putting Boone in the center where he's played in the past would do exactly that. And I think the Rangers game was a great example. The Blue Jackets captain was awesome against New York. He had a goal and an assist. It had been a while since he got on the score sheet. That's not necessarily what the fourth line needs to do, but he's creating some chemistry. The Blue Jackets really like Isaac Lundestrom as a Swiss Army knife type player. And Danton Heinen, while he hasn't necessarily been on the score sheet a lot, I think has been effective with his speed and his activity on that fourth line. You've seen Voronkov play in that spot, Miles Wood play in that spot, but right now they like what they have with that trio of Lundestrom, Jenner, and Danton Heinen. So, yeah, it's definitely intentional.
When you look down at the roster with Cleveland now, is there anybody on Cleveland's roster that maybe the Jackets saying, you know what, if we have a hole somewhere, this guy could fill it? Is there anybody of that ilk with the minor leagues?
I would not say this. I mean, there certainly is a player or two like that on the Cleveland Monsters. This season, I don't see it being necessity for the Blue Jackets because they have a few extra forwards on the roster right now and a couple extra defensemen at that, just because you have a larger roster after the trade deadline. But those players in Cleveland, like Luca Del Bel Belluz, got considerable NHL time with the Blue Jackets last season and played about 15 games with the Blue Jackets this season. He's the leading scorer for the Cleveland Monsters. He's a former second-round pick by the Blue Jackets. He is having an awesome season in Cleveland. I think he's got something like 9 goals in his last 11 games right now, something like that. So he's had a good season. Mikhail Putia in Cleveland has been with the Blue Jackets at various times. He's had a nice season. He's really come on as a scorer this season, something that wasn't in his game previously. Luca Pinelli, the Blue Jackets saw for a bit earlier this season. And, of course, Brendan Gaunce. He's the captain in Cleveland. He spent considerable time with the Blue Jackets this year. He's different. He's a veteran. So he's a guy that adds something a little bit different than those other guys that I talked about that are younger, maybe a little bit more exciting. But those are the guys to watch down in Cleveland.
Dylan Tyrer, our guest, the Blue Jackets radio network. He'll have fan pregame coverage of tonight's game against the Seattle Kraken starting at 4 o'clock. The goaltending situation, Dylan, I've thought's been interesting all year, and especially so with Rick Bowness. It's seeming to, I guess, flip a switch with Elvis Merzlikins. You've had Jet Greaves for the last 3, but when both have been on the ice, both have answered the call. It's safe to assume Elvis in net tonight, but how have you seen this balance going?
It's been really good. It's a hard thing to do. All goaltenders want to play, right? Yeah. That's the difficult thing. They all want to play. But I think Bowness has done a good job getting these guys playing time. And, really it's Nick Backstrom, the Blue Jackets goaltending coach. Bowness will tell you that he defers to Backstrom to make the decisions when it comes to the goaltending, and pretty much any head coach will tell you that. But, Elvis, it hasn't just been like one and done. Elvis has been able to get a couple of starts, then Jets gets a couple of starts, Elvis gets a couple of starts. And I just think there's buy-in. There's buy-in throughout the roster. That includes the goaltending. Elvis wanted a fresh start, and I think he gets that with the new head coach. And, he's proven himself pretty well with Rick Bowness in town. Obviously, Jet Greaves has done the exact same thing, and that makes the decision difficult for the goaltending coach and the head coach. But another thing coaches will always tell you in the NHL, they want those difficult decisions. So the Blue Jackets goaltending has done a good job to make those decisions harder than they were earlier this season. But I think, Jet has been the more steady of the two. Elvis obviously has a very, very high ceiling, crazy athleticism, but Jet is just so steady. You know what you're getting from him every single game. So I think that's why you've seen a little bit more from Jet Greaves this season, but that's not to say Elvis has really recovered nicely since Bowness took over.
Dylan, I know you take it a game at a time, so I'm sure the players, especially the coaches, don't want to hear anything about this, but just how important is Sunday's game at New York?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big one. It is a very big game, and there are a lot of those games around the NHL right now. I mean, you look at one of the games tonight, the Boston Bruins are playing the Detroit Red Wings. Both of those teams are in the wild card, so depending on the result, that could really help out the Blue Jackets, and it could really help out the New York Islanders. The game on Sunday on Long Island is, I would probably say, the biggest of the season so far. I don't want to overlook this one because the Blue Jackets obviously need points out of this game against Seattle. Every game is big. But the way it is right now, the Islanders are the first team out of the playoffs. They've got the same amount of points as the Blue Jackets, who are third in the Metro. The difference right now, the Blue Jackets have a game in hand on the Islanders. So, the Blue Jackets' point percentage is slightly better, but you need to win the game. I mean, it's as simple as that, right? When it comes down to the end of the season, if the Islanders are able to keep pace, you need to have this win over them because hopefully that's the difference. Hopefully that 1 point or those 2 points come down to be the difference if the Blue Jackets keep winning. So it's a 4-point game, right? You've got to limit what the Islanders do. You've got to win this game. And these teams have played each other really, really tough all season long. I would expect there to not be very much room at all on the ice. It's probably going to be low scoring and a real battle between those teams, but the Blue Jackets have to find a way to at least get a point out of it.
14 games to go and a lot of fun to be had. I mean, this is the position you want to find yourselves in, not only as a team, as a coaching staff, but as fans of a 25-year-old organization. Dylan Tyrer, the Jackets Radio Network. He'll be on the Fan today at 4 o'clock for pregame coverage between the CBJ and the Seattle Kraken.
Are they paying him more?
Dylan,
are you billing the extra 30 minutes?
No, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately, guys. I wish. But, hey, 30 minutes, it'll be a lot of fun on the Fan. We're going to have a special guest from Seattle.
Nice.
Go over the playoff picture, so it'll be good.
All right, we look forward to hearing from you then. Appreciate the time this morning. And, yeah, best of luck for the weekend, bud.
All right, thanks, guys. This is why we do it. Best time of the year. Go Jackets.
And he joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. This is all you ask for.
Look, all things considered, it's a great month in Columbus.
Yeah.
I know, look, the loss to TCU sucks, but it's a great women are playing today. The Jackets are in third right now in the Metro. We never would have thought that before they brought in Bowness.
No, the most incredible showcase ever. We'll discuss that next. Sports Saturday on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Bacon, sausage, egg, cheese, made from scratch biscuits, fresh baked croissants, cinnamon swirl French toast. Hungry? Grab a hot UDF breakfast sandwich made in store for your morning. UDF, mornings made for you.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. When you leave a job, don't leave your 401k. Grow your investment without the fees associated with 401k plans. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Columbus, it's time to gear up. The Open Season Sportsman's Expo, presented by Progressive and Can-Am, returns this Friday through Sunday at the Ohio Expo Center. Bring the family to see Twiggy the water skiing squirrel. Shop hundreds of exhibitors and get hands-on with the latest hunting gear, equipment, outfitters, and land management. Learn from expert seminar speakers and bring your buck for the Trophy Deer Contest with more ways to win big. Fueled by Toyota, the official truck, and Tacticam, the official cell camera of the Open Season Sportsman's Expo. Get discounted tickets now at OpenSeasonSportsman'sExpo.com.
Common Man and Timmy for our friends at Hollywood Casino.
Oh, it's a big month, Common Man.
Why?
Because there's lots of basketball to watch and lots of cash to win.
That's right. If you're watching hoops, you can reserve your spot at HollywoodColumbus.com. And some of the packages come with $300 in dining credits.
And this month you could win $1 million instantly. That's your final answer. Plus, there's multiple ways to score big cash prizes weekly.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Hey, basketball.
Get more from your everyday spending. Open a new Visa Signature from Kemba Financial Credit Union and earn $300 cash back when you spend $3,000 in the first 90 days. That's real money back in your pocket just for using your card on the things you already buy. Don't miss out. Apply at Kemba.org and start earning your $300 cash back bonus. Offer ends 3/31/26. Restrictions apply. Variable rate product. Equal opportunity lender.
At Germain Honda of Dublin, they get it. Nobody grows up dreaming of driving a minivan, but it's hard to argue with unbeatable versatility. Enter the Honda Odyssey, packed with space, comfort, and family-friendly features that make life easier. And if you want efficiency, Germain Honda has you covered with great incentives on hybrid favorites like the CR-V, the Civic, and the Accord. Shop Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road just south of 270 and at GermainHondaofDublin.com.
Working your way through that home projects list, that means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your air conditioner or furnace. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain issues? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing problems? Call the Waterworks. HVAC breakdowns? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted and certified plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Are you tired of running out of space? Check out Menard's Self-Storage Facility. Menard Self-Storage offers the most convenient and secure self-storage in the area. Options include features like 24/7 access, video surveillance, and on-site management. Menards has warehouse units at the best prices in the area, and your first month is free. They're going quickly, so reserve yours now at menardselfstorage.com. Unit and offer details may vary by facility.
Save big money at Menards.
Need a roof you can count on? Ramos Roofing has protected homes and businesses throughout Ohio for almost 20 years. Whether it's a leaky roof, storm damage, new siding, or new gutters to protect your foundation, Ramos Roofing delivers quality materials, professional installation, and honest service every time. Get your free roof or exterior assessment today and ask about Ramos Roofing's no-interest financing options. Call 614-761-7663 or visit online at ramosroofingohio.com.
Catch all the buzzer beaters, upsets, bracket busters, and more at the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. It's the greatest month of the year.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey, Columbus, big news. For a limited time, get Uber One free for a full year so you could save on food and rides. That's a $96 value on us. Just use code Columbus. Get 1 year of $0 delivery fees, 10% off eligible food and grocery orders, and up to 6% Uber One credits on rides. Sign up for this limited time offer today using code Columbus and save big with Uber One. Offer valid through 3/31/26. Savings and $0 delivery fee on eligible orders and rides only. Fees and terms apply. See app for details.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Yes, you are. Our thanks to Dylan Tyrer for joining us in the last segment. 14 games remain for the Blue Jackets. They got the Kraken tonight. They're on Long Island, taking on the Islanders tomorrow. Busy day for everybody here in Old Columbus town, though. Ohio State women's basketball team has Howard in a game you can hear right here on the Fan at 11:30. We've also got the Ohio State women's hockey team that has the it's fifth straight national championship, fourth consecutive between the Buckeyes and the Wisconsin Badgers. Ohio State beat Northeastern 5-0 yesterday in the Frozen Four.
Ohio State had 42 shots on goal. Northeastern had 15.
That's pretty dominant.
And this is the sixth straight time that Wisconsin's played in the championship, in the final. The 1 year they didn't because of COVID, but other than that, the other 6 years, the sixth straight year for Wisconsin being there in the championship game.
So it'll be 4:00. They're playing at Penn State. 4:00 on ESPNU for the broadcast. Nadine Muserall got a 5-year contract yesterday.
Deserved.
So very well deserved. One of the more dominant programs. One of the most successful programs for Ohio State of the 36 varsity sports. A win today would bring the Buckeyes their third national title in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
They got their first one in 2022. For the Ohio State men's hockey team, they've got Michigan in the Big Ten Tournament Championship tonight. They're playing that one in Ann Arbor. You can hear it on the Fan, too. Coverage of that, I believe, around 7:50, but 8 o'clock will be the face-off there. Today at 4 o'clock, have the Fanatics Flag Football Classic. I don't know who's clamoring for the flag football these days, but it's also coming to the Olympics. There's also been a lot of talk from the NFL about partnering more with flag football and doing more at the youth level with flag football. But Tom Brady and Joe Burrow are headlining this event. 4 o'clock on Fox. It was relocated from Saudi Arabia to Los Angeles.
Okay, why?
Because have you paid attention to the news lately?
Yes, I know, yes.
Probably not flying the most influential athletes in the world, and also Logan Paul over to Saudi. At least you're not doing that right now.
Logan Paul's okay.
3 teams, the U.S. men's national flag football team, and then 2 teams, the Founders and the Wildcats. Tom Brady's the coach/quarterback of the Founders. Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow are on the Wildcats. Who's tuning into this? Anybody? Bueller?
Not at this time of the year, I wouldn't think, no. I do find it funny, looking at the rosters, though, some of the people who are on the rosters, like Gronk's playing in it.
Sure.
Antoine Winfield, former Buckeyes, playing in it. DeMar Hamlin's in it.
Wait, Antoine Winfield, senior or junior?
Junior.
Okay.
Oh, you're not former Buckeye. Minnesota, right? Yeah, sorry. I messed that one up.
I was wondering.
Winfield, though.
Senior,
right.
Flag football, so maybe.
Maybe. Terrence Crawford, the boxer's in it.
Okay.
On the team opposite Logan Paul, obviously. And they said that someone on the Wildcats, in the article on Pro Football Talk, someone on the roster who goes by the name lowercase I, Show Speed.
Okay, so he's a popular streamer.
So I Show Speed is what he is, yes.
Yeah.
He's a buddy of Logan Paul's.
Is that what he is?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, those are all like the non-NFLers are all like influency guys, and Terrence Crawford.
Right.
I get the flag football, and I get with especially youth and youth leagues, flag football is more available. Flag football is easier on the body. Flag football is probably a more viable option for parents.
It's going to be an Olympic sport.
Right.
And so if the NFL, because we're hearing numbers of kids playing tackle football is decreasing every year.
Yep.
So instead of losing those guys, those players, I think the NFL has decided, it's smart, to put some effort into flag football to keep them involved in the game at least. And they might not ever be tackle football players, sure, but at least they'll continue to have interest in the game, which continues to help out with the marketing of it, and the whole thing just keeps going. It's smart for the NFL to do this, to invest in this, and to put something together like this on. I get it. I just don't think it's smart to do it at 4 o'clock, during March.
It's a heck of a weekend to try to program that. I understand, I guess, from Fox's standpoint, it's live sports.
Right.
And that always does better than reruns of, I don't even know what Fox shows anymore from a live action drama perspective.
Right.
But yeah, this, if you're a Bengals fan, are you, like, how much Joe Burrow do you want to see in this? Or
0.
Okay. So you just don't.
No,
reason
it's
for
more
him to
risk
do
of him
this?
getting injured.
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
No, it'd be awful.
No.
It'd be terrible. No, I'm saying it wouldn't
Like
be. I'm
Tom
not saying
Brady
it'd be good.
could go out there and do it. But even Commanders fans watching Jaden Daniels try to run around out there, like, you're one awkward plant.
Yeah.
There goes the season. There went the season for the basketball Buckeyes. The conversation is only going to get louder between high majors scheduling mid-majors in the regular season. Matt Painter had some comments after Purdue's win. He's pushing back against the mid-majors. You'll hear from some of the mid-majors, including High Point's head coach, coming up next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. New special guests in everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Winning isn't everything, but at Tim Hortons, every day's a chance to win when you play Roll Up to Win. Maybe it's a free coffee or donut, or a year's supply of fuel from Shell. That goes a long way. Maybe it's a Kobo e-reader, or up to $1,000 in Uber Eats gift cards, or even a VIP getaway to see Cirque du Soleil. Okay, not something you win every day. Roll Up to Win, only at Tim Hortons. No purchase necessary. 18 plus. Ends March 22nd, 2026. Tim Hortons app required for digital game. Use the app to reveal digital rules. Game cups while supplies last. Offer a chance to win food and beverage prizes only. See official rules at rolluptowin.com.
The Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is the place to be for all the basketball action. Watch every game at once on 2 video walls spanning 50 feet, plus over 30 TVs. Come show off your jump shot in our King of the Court drawings and take home memorabilia from a Cleveland basketball legend. We've also got unbeatable game day food and drinks all season long. Guarantee your spot. Reserve a table with up to $300 in dining credits at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Over 90,000 five-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage doors is what we do. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Take your shot to save at Great Lakes Hyundai. Shoot the hoop to get extra savings on your new car purchase. On top of big shot savings like 0% financing on 26 Hyundai Santa Fe's and Tucson's for up to 5 years. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. It's the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Dublin or Columbus or GLakesHyundai.com. With proof credit, some customers may not qualify. Interest accrues during no payment period. New Hyundais come equipped with owner assurance and America's Best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Offer ends 3/31.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Nate Putterwell, your sports update. The Ohio State women's basketball team begins dancing today. It's the first round of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. The third-seeded Buckeyes play host to 14th seed Howard out at the Shot. Tip comes your way at 11:30 a.m. We'll have fan coverage coming your way at 11:15 immediately following Fan Sports Saturday. The Columbus Blue Jackets are on an 11-game point streak. They look to extend that to 12 this afternoon as they take on the Kraken. Puck drops at 5. Catch all the action right here on the Fan, and it's the second round of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. The action kicks off at noon as top-seeded Michigan takes on St. Louis. Other Big Ten teams in action today see third-seeded Sparty taking on 6th-seed Louisville, third-seed Illinois taking on 11th-seed VCU, and 4th-seed Nebraska matching up with 5th-seed Vanderbilt. Other action sees Duke taking on TCU, Houston and Texas A&M squaring off, Gonzaga and Texas, and High Point taking on Arkansas. Breaking sports news, what happens to the Fan? Ohio Sports Destination.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Yeah, it's springtime, so when the weather gets warmer, the sweat gets a little sweatier. And leather chairs don't work for me.
High 45, I think, on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be up and down the rest of March. I think it was Tyvis was surprised that it was cold and snowy on Monday, and then you got 60s today, tomorrow. But this
first time here.
This is March.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to be 80 on Sunday.
Yep.
And like high, mid to upper 40s on
That's what you do. But welcome to spring. You've made it. You can put away your heavy winter coats. Keep the light jackets. I put away mine last Saturday because I thought to myself, Tito, if I'm going to put this away and then I'm going to speak into existence, we're not getting snow.
Right, that's smart.
Woke up and brushed snow off my car on Monday.
Right. That's the way it goes, man.
You heard Nate there in the update. The Ohio State women's basketball team has Howard. I keep saying Hofstra.
Do you? Yeah.
It's Howard.
It's Howard, yeah.
Not the Duck, the team. At 11:30. Fan coverage will be at 11:15. So we'll be off the air because Tyler Danberg's going to come in, or he's going to be at the Shot. He's going to kick down the door, say, get the hell off the air. And we will. We will acquiesce for Tyler Danberg, Kevin McGuff and company.
Yes.
They are 38.5-point favorites.
That's the thing with that women. Like I told you that before, the spreads, and this is what...
None of the double-digit seeds advanced yesterday. You're probably going to get more chalk on the women's bracket today.
You are. And, you know...
Notre Dame and Fairfield might be the only single-digit spread. They play at 2 o'clock at the Schottenstein Center, so they'll be the game after that. And then looking like the Buckeyes and the Fighting Irish on Monday. However, that's why you play the games, right?
Right. USC is a 51.5-point favorite against Cal Baptist. And you might think, wow, that's a lot. It's the third highest one today because South Carolina is favored by 53.5, and then UConn by 55.5.
Are we looking on the women's side at UConn, UCLA, Chasm, South Carolina, LSU?
It kind of feels that way.
Yeah.
You know,
again, why you play the games.
Yes.
You would think there will be an upset on the women's side. Only 4 double-digit seeds remain on the men's side. You heard there from Nate in the update. High Point in Arkansas will be the final game today. It's at 9:45. Make sure you got that True TV ready. Texas A&M, and I believe there's one more, VCU, the double-digit seeds remaining. So you had a lot of conversation going into the tournament about mid-majors and scheduling and how Miami of Ohio had a really bad resume out of conference because they were playing Division II teams and they were playing other low majors. And the argument from those coaches was, well, all the high majors keep ducking us.
Right.
I think there was a Freedom of Information Act request for 200 schools maybe in the what would be considered high major range. And Miami had reached out to a lot of them, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Pitt, and they just didn't respond. And I know the conversation's been going on almost forever about scheduling for Ohio State, the mid-majors in the state, the Daytons, the Xaviers, the Butlers, the Miamis, the MAC teams in Ohio. And they do it sporadically, but it's never intentional.
Right.
And I think the discussion is from those groups. I think Travis Steele, Miami's head coach, has said it like it needs to be intentional. But I look to Matt Painter, who after Purdue beat Queens University 104-71, he had some pushback. And a lot of the pushback makes sense from his standpoint of this doesn't do anything for us relative to non-conference we're going to schedule like teams. And I think Chris Holtmann even said that for Ohio State, where they were going to look to the CBS Sports Classic. They were going to look to scheduling games against Pittsburgh. It's why the Virginia game exists. You know, that weird one-off they did at Valentine's Day in Nashville. Because while you like to have the face-punching nightly in the Big Ten, the resume boosters come with like teams in the high majors.
Do you, I feel like Ohio State, and I know people have talked about this for years and it never gets done, but the annual Ohio teams, like a tournament with.
I think so.
If you have, because you got 4 teams from different conferences, so you don't have to worry about it's not like the Ohio State UCLA playing each other like they might have in the CBS Sports Classic where they made changes. But you take that, and you have Xavier, Ohio State, Cincinnati, Miami.
Yeah, who says no?
Right.
Maybe Ohio State,
but I don't.
And I would hope that wouldn't be the case.
And I would say make it a tournament, make it 2 days. And have every team play 2 games.
Have it rotate sites every year. And give the fans at the UD Arena, give the fans in Oxford, give the fans in Cincinnati, give the fans in Columbus a chance to do what I think would be a similar atmosphere to what you saw in Dayton the other night with Miami.
Would you be in favor of rotating the MAC team a little bit? Maybe it's not Miami every year. Maybe some of you get OU into it.
Yes, but like in football, I want to keep it. If you're going to schedule MAC, keep it MAC Ohio. So, yes.
Get Akron or Toledo
absolutely.
or someone in there every
Toledo,
year.
Bowling Green, Kent, Miami, Ohio, Miami. I'm missing one maybe. Those teams are good enough resume boosters.
Right.
And also fun because the alumni bases in Central Ohio are so much so.
And maybe you make it the MAC team from Ohio that does the best the previous season gets in.
Sure.
This year be
Akron. Akron's the tournament champion. Yep. Akron advances.
Whoever wins it or whatever
winner
the highest
gets Ohio State next season.
Gets Ohio State in that. I think that would be huge, and that would add even more emphasis. Not there isn't already. They're like on the MAC championship game as another carrot out there.
I've been saying it for a while that I think the MAC is a 2-bid league. I think they play quality basketball in the Mid-American Conference. I think despite what happened in the round of 64. You needed for Miami to shoot better than 50% from the 3 against a team like Tennessee that was going to be taller, longer, and more physical. You couldn't. That's unfortunate, but it doesn't take away Miami's deserving to be in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that we talk about the mid-majors scheduling the high majors because this kind of sounds like what NCAA boss Charlie Baker is going to use the mid-majors and their not being allowed as much leeway into the NCAA tournament as why you should expand the NCAA tournament. Here's the NCAA boss on with Golick and Golick earlier in the week.
If you look at what Miami went through trying to get some of the power conference schools onto their schedule or some of the higher ranked teams onto their schedule this year after they won 25 games last year, it just sort of speaks to the challenges that are associated with that. And I think if you made the tournament a little bigger, gave people a little more confidence that it'd be okay to lose a game or two along the way, I think, first of all, we'd see more mid-major. We left a whole bunch of mid-majors out this year along with Auburn and Oklahoma. I mean, we also left New Mexico out, who lost in their tournament but had a really good year. We left San Diego State out, who was in the Final Four a few years ago because they lost in their tournament. I think if we can make the logistics work and the basketball committee sign off on it, I think it would be worth doing, primarily because it does create a little more access, and maybe we'll give people a little more interest in scheduling some games that might be considered sort of trap games under the current scenario with respect to where they end up and how they get seeded in the tournament.
When you hear that, I could see your expression, but verbalize that for me.
Okay. I will say this. I'm not opposed. The fact if they expand it or not, that doesn't bother me.
I think we're at the point they will.
Yes, but it's not going to change how I view it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch much of the first 4. Like Miami wasn't in it, I probably wouldn't watch any of it.
Yeah.
So, and if there's teams, and if the first 12 or first whatever it's going to be now,
right?
It's not going to change the way I consume the tournament. Just don't call it the first round. Don't screw that up. But there's other ways to. I don't know. It's just you want to expand it, great. You don't. I don't care. I'm not going to. It's not going to change the way I do it.
It's like when they say things like, "We left out Auburn this year." Congratulations, you left out a 500 team that was 13th place in their conference. I really don't care.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. It's so
Don't play the regular season at that point. Is like what I would say. It's like literally start the tournament at the Big Ten tournament and all the conference championships.
You dilute it a lot, and you make the regular season mean less.
Yeah.
The more teams you add, and the more, because he's talking about giving teams leeway. It's like we don't need to be giving teams like Auburn, teams like Oklahoma leeway. Indiana doesn't need leeway.
Right.
Win your damn games. Make a run in your conference tournaments. Don't rely on Don't rely on NCAA and inclusion to make the NCAA tournament. It's a silly reason to expand it.
Yeah,
and I understand the actual reason, because money. It's already great, and I'm sad that it's going to expand. It's just a matter of when, and the soft launching of it. It's a good job out of him. I saw this from Jeremy Birmingham. Him and Austin are all over Ohio State coverage, football, basketball. That Ohio State in the offseason is going to look to hire a general manager. That big programs have done that job. Ohio State football has the GM in Mark Pantoni. He was kind of the pioneer of the position. And so for Jake Diebler and company, having that, I do think will help. I've always been on the side of having more money is great, but the money you have, if you use it poorly, then it's not, well, he just needs more money. If you're making poor portal decisions, if you're not allocating the money properly, it always matter how much you have, but I'm more so of make better decisions with the people you choose to pay.
Yes.
And I think a GM might help with that.
I think so too. And the way Ohio State football does it, it's like, it's a lot of times they, at least from what I've heard, I'm not privy to all the numbers, but I believe their philosophy is we're going to pay you for what you do, not what you might do.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the way they have escalated some of the salaries and whatnot, at least according to reports and people that I've talked to, is that, Ohio State's, they might get outbid for somebody who wants a lot of money up front, but Ohio State's like, look, just stick with it. Yeah. You'll get your money. You'll get taken care of.
I mean, last year with Aaron Bradshaw, with Michi Johnson.
Good Lord.
Congratulations to Marcus Johnson, who repeats as Mr. Ohio basketball.
Right. But
I do think for everybody, it was good that the Johnsons chose South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's great. That if Marcus wants to take his talents there, great. And I'm hoping that Michi's is in a better headspace.
Yeah.
That was poor allocation.
They just burned money. They were setting on fire. I wonder who watched Aaron Bradshaw play and say, you know what? That guy's going to be really good.
I think he's played better, but it's taken a minute. And with what you've got now, you don't really have that kind of time unless you're stacking consistent tournament appearances. And now with the portal and NIL, you can flip your roster real quick.
Yeah.
And I think that's, if not job number 1 or 2 for Jake Diebler, because I think retaining Bynum and Mobley are up there for the top. But you got to find somebody to replace Bruce Thornton as your field general. And that, I think, will have to come in the transfer portal. But you're also paying Anthony Thompson. You're also paying Alex Smith. Those guys aren't coming to play at Ohio State for free. Speaking of the NCAA, they tried to fix something's wrong. They tried to fix it. They didn't do a good enough job. Stop me if you've heard that before. We'll discuss next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Aetna was there for me as I was going through a rough medical patch this year. I had peace of mind, which helped with my healing.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with the latest in online tools for easier access to healthcare. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Recalculating route. Estimated arrival time. Never.
For people with nasal congestion, snoring, or sleep apnea, finding a solution feels like a never-ending road trip.
First stop, my primary doctor. Then the pharmacy. Then a sleep specialist. Then an ENT.
What if there was just one destination for all your problems?
Welcome to Advent, your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care in one location. Over 95% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
You have arrived at Clear Breathing.
Coffee, iced cap, refreshers. Tim Hortons has all your favorite beverages. And now you can get your favorite bite for less. When you buy any size beverage, add a baked daily donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. So next time you order your favorite Tim's beverage, add something that satisfies your cravings and your wallet. The $1, $2, $3 menu. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra exclusions and terms apply.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Forget the pot of gold. Save some green at Coghlan Ford. During Ford Truck Month, take over $13,000 off MSRP, plus no payments until June on select new F-150s. New Bronco Sport or Ranger. Lease for $399 a month for 48 months. Visit CoghlanFord.com.
Coghlan has the car for you.
Factory rebates to dealer. 90-day deferred payments. Not all buyers will qualify. Bronco $399 down. Ranger $2,000 down. 7,500 miles per year. 25 cents per mile over. Excludes $250 dock fee. $395 disposition fee at lease. No security deposit. Ends 3/31/26.
The sports book at Hollywood Casino Columbus is the place to be for all the basketball action. Watch every game at once on 2 video walls spanning 50 feet, plus over 30 TVs. Come show off your jump shot in our King of the Court drawings and take home memorabilia from a Cleveland basketball legend. We've also got unbeatable game day food and drinks all season long. Guarantee your spot. Reserve a table with up to $300 in dining credits at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Hey, Timmy, we're in the finals for Pizza Madness.
Oh, Mikey, we've got a classic matchup. We've got Adriatico's taking on Pizza House for all the marbles.
Vote now, pizzamadness.pizza, brought to you by our friends at Billiards Plus.
Yay, pizza.
It's never a bad time to fire up the grill. At Billiards Plus, the grilling season never ends. While you're grill shopping, you'll love browsing Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Spring is hatching at the Columbus Zoo. Join us April 3rd and 4th for Eggs, Paws, and Claws. Snap a pic with the Easter Bunny, meet Egbert, roll into Shelley's Shellebration, and crack the clues in the Eggsplore and find. It's 2 extra fun days you won't want to miss. Get your discounted tickets at Kroger.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Care, every conversation comes back to our priorities, doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better, long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. Care is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll plan on lots of sunshine for the afternoon and pleasant high temperatures in the middle to upper 60s, gentle breezes. Really hard to beat that this time of year. Mostly clear skies overnight. Lows fall to around 50. Tomorrow, it's a warm one with highs around 80, turning breezy for the afternoon as well. Partly sunny skies and some scattered showers and storms develop later in the afternoon and evening. For The Fan, I'm 10 TV Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Live, local, and still slightly drunk.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment.
This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Rieser, Tito, Nate, you heard Justin there in the weather update. I guess if you have yard work, get it done early tomorrow?
No, just skip it until the next time it warms up.
Do you have twigs, sticks, branches still in your yard?
Yes.
Yeah, same. I gotta congregate those into one area and keep them dry. Because burn them.
This is why I have a condo.
Yeah. Pay people to do it. That's the thing in life. If you can pay people to do something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
That's how you that's living, brother. We talk all the time about Ohio State football. Coming back from spring break this week. 2 practices, Tuesday and Thursday, and then the pro day for the Buckeyes on Wednesday. Last year they had 150 or so NFL representatives.
You ever been out there for it?
Mm-mm. I don't have a ton of interest in it, in being part of all of that.
Yeah.
We have enough coverage here on the Fan. I think they also limit the press passes.
I'm sure they do.
Have you been out there for it?
I have not, but I'd like to do it just to do it. I'd like to go out there to see what it's like. That part would be fun for me. But I'd probably be going. I don't think I'd be going much as like an insight reporting kind of thing. More just view the spectacle,
just to see the circus that it is.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, for Sonny Styles, like, does he need to do anything at the pro day on Wednesday?
Sonny doesn't. His brother though can
Lorenzo help himself out. I was thinking about Caden McDonald. If he didn't do anything at the combine, but measurements and interviews, so he can really help himself. And a lot of these guys just watch the tape.
Yeah.
Caleb Downs, I was reading from Sports Illustrated. Someone had the argument that he could really help himself out.
No.
Again, he's a watch the tape guy.
Yeah.
If his knee's going to fall off, or if his knee was falling off last season, he's the guy I would bring a one-legged person to an ass-kicking contest with. Just watch the tape. Like, degenerative knee, no, I don't think that's a thing.
Right.
I think one doctor said, I got a question about that. All right, one of several doctors.
And that's the thing, too, where you wonder if they're doing it for propaganda reasons. Like, because they're hoping he slips past the Bengals or something.
Are you
know
saying
what I mean?
that NFL teams use their medical staff
it's
for
pure speculation.
For nefarious purposes?
Pure speculation on my part.
I don't know where there's ever been an instance of that happening, but only in the last couple of weeks, Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
I do wonder with Jeremiah Smith and Julian Saint. Because Carnell Tate might work out who's throwing him the football.
Yeah.
And if it is Julian,
right?
If maybe they bring back somebody else from, I'm trying to think. A couple of years ago, they brought Troy Smith back.
Could they bring Will Howard
back?
This
wasn't even a couple of years. Yeah, this was like a decade ago, or even 15 years ago, where Troy Smith threw it when he was just trying to find a job in the NFL. But yeah, maybe Will Howard comes back. But if it's Julian, our NFL team's going, hey, what's that?
Right.
Is Jeremiah catching balls? Hey, what's that? Huh. And I don't know if Jeremiah's going to do anything, nor should he, but
maybe get the pro quarterback now for the Columbus Aviators to come throw.
He is the brother of Julian.
The older brother.
That would be cool if they brought both Sains to do that.
Right.
Because look, not all of these guys working out at Ohio State's pro day are going to make it in the NFL. Some might find themselves on an Aviators roster, a UFL roster. There are several Buckeyes that are on the Columbus roster in the UFL.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a viable. I'm glad it's there, and I don't know if the owner, I think, came out of the UFL. He's like, I want 32 teams in the league. It's nice to want things.
Sure it is.
I think it's good to have that sort of an option. It's good to have the CFL. I think all of those.
Yeah.
I do wish the NFL would work more with those leagues to be a true feeder system.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have the unpaid labor, or the used to be unpaid labor in college.
It's college football, yeah.
Now
that's
paid
the minor
labor,
leagues, yes.
But just college football, man, is so screwy. It feels like you can have more structure, and with a partnership, I should say, with the UFL and with the CFL.
Can Max Clare help himself?
Yeah, I don't know, because he's another tape guy for me.
Right.
Because yes, he can catch. He's an incredible pass catching tight end, but what he did on the film in terms of his blocking, him and Will Kacmarek were incredible blockers for the Buckeyes last season. So I don't know if drills on the field are going to help them more than just turn the tape on.
Well, I think as far as blocking goes, yes. And we know, look, you and I know Max Clare's a really good receiver.
Yeah.
Okay. But he didn't get a chance to showcase all of that in his time here.
And blocking the whole time.
Right, and blocking, which is usually what tight ends do for Ohio State. They come in and they get well known for their blocking.
Especially with how methodical and plotting the offense was this season.
There's no like Jeremy Shockey coming through Ohio State to catch a bunch of passes or something like that. It's never going to be that way. But I wonder if Claire, though, shows some kind of like wows them with his hands at this thing, if that would improve his stock at all.
I think so. I think him and Kaczmarek definitely can help themselves with route running.
Yeah.
But when you think about drafting getting a tight end, the third, the fourth, the fifth round, like the Browns could absolutely use a big body blocking tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to take receiving reps away from Harold Fannin.
Right.
So this would be that situation where you put two tight ends on the line, but Fannon's going to get the target. Yeah. The other guy's got to do some of the dirty work. We'll have that coverage all week long. Of course, back to practice for the Buckeyes Tuesday and Thursday, and then everything will culminate in that spring game on April 18th. The NCAA, I think for years, has had a targeting problem. I've always hated the idea if a player gets called for targeting, he's ejected. If it's in the second half, he's not playing the first half of the following game. On Thursday, the Division I Rules Committee changed the targeting rules slightly. This fall, a player disqualified for targeting for the first time during the season, regardless of which half in the game it occurs, may participate in the next game. Any player disqualified for targeting the second time during the season will be required to miss the first half of the next game. If a player is disqualified for a third targeting penalty during the season, the player will be required to miss the entire next game. No players were disqualified for targeting 3 times in the 2025 season. I hate the rule that you just get kicked out of the game for targeting.
You think it should be
a 15-yard penalty?
Okay, but I'm saying though, if it's egregious though,
15-yard penalty.
You'd still do 15 yards.
It's just hard to prove intent in that situation.
It is hard to prove intent, but I understand what you're saying. But I also think the rule being what it is now, it lends itself a player. Let's say you're losing.
Joey Bosa's last play which Bosa was it? It was their last play for Ohio State.
Oh yeah, right.
Targeting is the Battle Frog PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. You're targeting gone.
Right. Okay.
Grab a gift bag on the way out.
But that's you get a team like it's losing 58-7. Okay. And their players are humiliated and angry. And there's a minute left in the game or 2 minutes, whatever it is. Say the team is still running some kind of offensive play.
Okay.
And you get called for targeting there. Your only penalty is a 15-yard penalty. And you're not, like right now, though, the way the rule was set, though, you have to sit out the first half of the next game.
Yeah.
Which would deter you from maybe a stupid penalty like that.
Maybe. That's such a weird hypothetical.
I know.
I just don't. I don't think you need to have these kind of long, drawn-out conversations for a rule that I get it. You're trying to protect the player, but I see so many times with targeting, they're just going for they're trying to make a football play. More times than not, the play is not egregious. The play is not intentional. There are headhunters, and maybe that can be addressed.
Right.
But for the most part, it's just something that call it unsportsmanlike conduct.
Right.
Give it a 15-yarder. But ejecting these kids is, I think, the dumbest thing we do.
And sometimes
of the many dumb things the NCAA does in officiating.
Sometimes the hard part is, too, if you see the ball carrier, the quarterback or whatever, duck his head down at the last minute.
It kind of gives himself up, and you always want to protect that.
Yeah.
But it's football.
But if he's just ducking his head to kind of avoid the hit, though, kind of thing, like they're saying he's not necessarily giving himself up, but like he's running and like puts his head down for a moment, and if it happens at the same moment the guy's going for his shoulder, then you could call it targeting.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think there were some other rules that were changed. I think they're going to try a fair catch kick rule, to where if you call a fair catch on a punt and you're able to either pooch the punt, or you're able to try to drop kick or try a field goal in the situation, which is fine.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what we're spending our time on.
Yeah.
Seems odd, but it's the NCAA. So they like to, in these situations, come out and remind you that, no, we're still in charge, guys.
Right.
Despite not having any enforcement for any actual rules outside of the game itself. Tyler Danberg coming up in 2 minutes. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Need a roof you can count on? Ramos Roofing has protected homes and businesses throughout Ohio for almost 20 years. Whether it's a leaky roof, storm damage, new siding, or new gutters to protect your foundation, Ramos Roofing delivers quality materials, professional installation, and honest service every time. Get your free roof or exterior assessment today and ask about Ramos Roofing's no-interest financing options. Call 614-761-7663 or visit online at ramosroofingohio.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is the place to be for all the basketball action. Watch every game at once on 2 video walls spanning 50 feet, plus over 30 TVs. Come show off your jump shot in our King of the Court drawings and take home memorabilia from a Cleveland basketball legend. We've also got unbeatable game day food and drinks all season long. Guarantee your spot. Reserve a table with up to $300 in dining credits at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, the Fan. Garnish your Bloody Mary with sports talk. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Yes, you are. Rieser, Tito, and Nate rolling out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Actually, just down the street to the Schottenstein Center, where we go for festivities in the round of 64 of the women's NCAA tournament. Ohio State, a 3-seed, hosting Howard today at 11:30 in the first round game for both teams. We'll have fan pregame coverage starting at 11:15. The voice you will hear on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline is the voice you will hear calling today's game, and it's Tyler Danberg. He joins us again just a little bit before. He's got to do his actual job. And Tyler, thanks so much for the time. Ohio State's a 5-touchdown favorite in this. What do you expect from the Buckeyes against Howard?
Well, great to be with you fellas. Time to grab your dancing shoes. Best time of the year. I think what you would expect is Ohio State to come out punching out of the gates with that fast up-tempo style of play, get a feel for the full court press. Again, you got to think they haven't played in 2 weeks, and I think they're really, really antsy to get back out on the floor. I think talking to Jelani Cambridge yesterday, she said it was really hard just not to play these last 2 weeks. They all love the game. They have a passion for the game, and it was good to focus on themselves, and I think that 2-week break did them good, but I think you're going to see them come out raring to go, playing with a little bit of that angst, just not being able to go these last 2 weeks. And expect a fight from Howard. This is a good team, and they're a physical team as well. What they do best is they get to the free throw line, and when you can get to the line and play disciplined basketball on the other end, you always got a shot to win. So should be a really good ball game we see today in Columbus.
I don't know if you talked to McGuff at all about this or anybody else, but the fact they've had this long of a break, more than 2 weeks, right? There are 2 weeks they played a game. Does that lend itself to, even if the game gets out of control, say Ohio State gets a big lead, that McGuff might leave the starters in longer to give them more time? Or is it a thing where you think his goal is to right now just get to the big lead, hopefully, and then be able to get the bench players involved?
Yeah, Tito, I think it's a play it by ear type of thing. But I did talk to Kevin about just the 2-week break and whether it was good or bad. And he thinks it was really a good thing for them just to focus on themselves. Because, again, that last 3-week stretch of the season was grueling because you go from playing 5 top 25 net teams in the last 6 games, and then you got to go and play 3 straight days in the Big Ten tournament against some of the conference best. That's a really hard thing to do. So I think that tournament experience is really valuable, and I think that for some key pieces in the starting rotation, it's a good chance for them to get some sustained minutes in the tournament. And then for some of the bench pieces as well. They've got 11 on the roster, 6 coming off the bench, and usually 7 or 8 that they go to deep in the rotation. But to have some of these players get a feel for what playing in the NCAA tournament is like, because there are some players that are going to be stepping onto a floor in the tourney for the first time today, or maybe the second time today. So it's all about getting that experience, because it does feel a little bit different. So perhaps we do see the starters depending on the situation of the game, and you never know. You know, with Howard putting up a good fight, this game could get really interesting. But I think that it's going to be play it by ear for these Buckeyes today.
Tyler Danberg is our guest. He'll be on the call for Ohio State and Howard in the NCAA women's tournament. The round of 64 continues. By my count, Tyler, 6 Big Ten teams have already advanced into the round of 32. The Buckeyes hoping to be the 7th. There's some other teams. I'm looking at Illinois and from the conference that want to make a push forward into games Sunday and Monday. I think to what Kevin McGuff wants to do defensively, and I kind of look to TCU with what the Horned Frogs were able to do against Ohio State and Jake Diebler's squad the other night. Is that a fair comparison?
I think so, yeah. I think that the way that TCU approached that defensively is very similar to what maybe Ohio State will do. You know, defensively, McGuff's Buckeyes are big on ball screen coverage and ball screen defense, and that's something that's really valued by them. Obviously, you know, they want to speed teams up and they want to wear you down in the full court, but I think one of the big emphases this year for Ohio State was getting better in the half court, guys, and I think they've really proven that. They've showed that, and the defense, you look at the scoring defense totals, it's gotten better as this year has gone on. They're 19th now in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency, and they've gotten better around the rim. So I think that, you know, this team has gotten a little bit more balanced from the backcourt to the front court, and hopefully they can keep that going heading into the tournament.
One of the things, Tyler, you mentioned the half-court thing. I think that's significant for Ohio State to be able to adjust to how they play the game sometimes based on the opponent. I know that McGuff would give you a death stare if you asked him about the next game, but have you looked much at how Ohio State would match up with, say, Notre Dame?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start off with Notre Dame. I think that, you know, these are 2 teams that are just peaking at the right time. I mean, Notre Dame has won 9 of its last 10, and I'm really interested, you know, if both teams were to advance and go to the second round, I'd really be interested to see how Ohio State defensively approaches Hannah Hidalgo, the unanimous 3-time first-team All-American for the Fighting Irish, because you've got 3 different Buckeyes that can really guard the best player, especially a player like Hidalgo. You've got Kennedy Cambridge, who's second in the country in steals to Hidalgo. You've got Jelani Cambridge, who can certainly go toe-to-toe. And then you've got Ava Watson, who has often been the top assignment in terms of defense against the point guard for the opposition. So, you know, Notre Dame as well, they've got 3 scores in double figures. I think they're very experienced, too. They've got a lot of grad transfers, and I think it could be very similar to, you know, when you've got UCLA, when they've got a bunch of grad transfers out there. Now, granted, UCLA is in its own echelon, but, you know, I think it'd be a lot of experience on the floor in that game. And then Fairfield, that would be a really interesting matchup for Ohio State and the Stags. Boy, are they maybe one of the best kept secrets in women's college basketball. They lead the country in 3-pointers per game. They're top 3 in 3-point attempts per game, and they play really up-tempo basketball. So I think that maybe Notre Dame and Ohio State, it'd be a good matchup. It'd be maybe a little bit of a contrast in styles, but I think Fairfield and Ohio State, if those 2 teams were to get matched up, it's going to be just up and down for 40 minutes.
You guys are driving Coach McGuff nuts with this. They've got a game today against the Howard Bison, 26-7, first in the MEAC. Tyler, you mentioned some of the key components for Ohio State, the Cambridge sisters. What about this Howard team? Who's the straw that stirs their drink?
The straw that stirs the drink is Zanaya Thomas, and she's a really cool story. First off, she's from Cleveland. She played her first 3 years at Brush High School in Lyndhurst, and she averaged 0.2 points per game. She transfers to Warrensville Heights, and she averages over 30 and 14 a night. She goes to Kentucky, plays her first 2 years there, actually teammates with current Buckeye Kennedy Cambridge. And then she transfers to Howard, gets to Howard. Something's not right. She's not feeling right. after test, they found that she had a regurgitation of her right heart valve. Not sure if she was even going to play again. Well, she did play again, had a great year, and then this year she's taken her game to the next level. She's a post player down low, averages 15 and 8 a night. She's the HBCU National Player of the Year, and she's really good, not just on the inside, but she can also shoot it from the outside and from the mid-range as well. So that's going to be a really intriguing matchup. Obviously, this game might mean a little bit more to her being back in her home state. She said it's going to be like a family reunion. That Howard offense definitely runs right through her.
We don't need any, like a feel-good story right now. We see Ohio State, because now you got me looking at, now watch the game differently.
That's what this is about.
I know. Look, I know it is, yes, on a certain level. But I'm much more superficial than that. I supposed to Ohio State win, so I don't want to like watch this game and think about what this woman's overcome and all these trials and tribulations she's been through. I don't want to find myself rooting for her.
Well, she is a good story to root for. We're just going to root for a good ball game today.
There we go.
All right, Tyler, thanks so much for giving us the time this morning. We appreciate you for however long we've been doing this with you.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
It's been awesome having you on. Appreciate it. Again, you have a good call today, and we'll be, looking forward to Monday.
Yes, and next week.
You so much.
Survive in advance. Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate you having me.
Courtesy the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. So he'd mentioned, the incredible high school that's going on, incredible high school hoops in the Buckeye State. It's half an hour for Columbus Academy. I think 1 o'clock is the game for Columbus Academy. They beat West Muskingum 59-44 yesterday in a Division V state semifinal. Jason Singleton and the Vikings are taking a 20-game winning streak to the UD Arena against Lutheran East. That game's at 1 o'clock. In Division I, Cincinnati Princeton has Lakewood St. Edward at 5:30. Hilliard Bradley, I think, went from single-digit wins last season
6 or 8 wins
to
last year.
State semifinal. They've got Pickerington Central tonight at 7:30 at the UD Arena, and then the state championship game for D1 will be Sunday at 3:15. Then in D2, Westerville Central and North Royalton. That game's going on in 20 minutes. Lima Senior, Massillon, Washington. The other game in D2, 1 o'clock for that tip at the UD Arena. And then we'll just speak into existence. Westerville Central will be playing for a Division II state championship Sunday. That's noon at the, again, UD Arena. It's awesome that they have it there.
No, I liked it here. Well,
it's a little tough to do that here this weekend.
I understand that, but I'm just saying it was better. It was here, and you had all the games in one spot: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now I know you can't do it now because you added divisions and all this stuff. There's a lot of different, and you've also, like you said, the Ohio State women's thing, but. The things I want to have happen are going to happen, but why can't you go play at St. John Arena and just refix that one and have it there?
So I think that's the conversation, right? If you want to do more at St. John Arena, you've got to get it fixed.
Right.
So I don't know where in the gigantic list of things for Ross Bjork to do for Ohio State Athletics, because again, 36 sports.
Yes.
Where does St. John factor into it? You would like it to be a factor in the future because that thing's beautiful. And everybody, I think within the sound of my voice, has tremendous memories of watching athletic contests there.
Yeah. Yep.
Now I think it's just a weight room.
It is. That's what it is. It is weight room. Yeah, it's all it is right there.
If you could go back in time, maybe you do that instead of the Schottenstein Center. You pour the money there.
Right.
But I do wonder. Look, again, we're playing, the what if game.
It's fun to watch games.
You like to have had that be the case.
Yeah.
It will be the case for the Blue Jackets. 14 games to go. An actual playoff push that even the bandwagon fans can jump on. There's plenty of seats available. We'll discuss what the Blue Jackets have coming up next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Like a cold iced tea on a hot summer day, spring is going to feel pretty sweet this year, considering. Celebrate spring's arrival during Oakland Nursery's Spring Fling, March 14th through the 22nd. 33% savings on houseplants, garden tools, shoes, books, summer flowering bulbs, and more. 25% off packaged garden seed. You've been itching to get in the garden this year, and this is what you need to start. Oakland Nursery Spring Fling, March 14th through the 22nd. For 86 years, spring starts at Oakland Nursery.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You've heard me talk about High Bank's award-winning spirits, but let's talk about the food. High Bank delivers incredible meals and handcrafted cocktails in a space that works for every part of your week. Start with happy hour, drinks with friends, come back for brunch worth planning your weekend around, then stay for dinner. And get this, kids eat half off every Monday. Great food, award-winning drinks, a reason to come back time and time again. Make a reservation today at a location near you at highbankco.com.
highbank.com. Dine, drink, distill at Highbank.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News & World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when needed. We show up with access to convenient care options and coverage that fits everyday life. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $365 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions. Like, how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter? These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
Columbus, it's time to gear up. The Open Season Sportsman's Expo, presented by Progressive and Can-Am, returns this Friday through Sunday at the Ohio Expo Center. Bring the family to see Twiggy the water skiing squirrel. Shop hundreds of exhibitors and get hands-on with the latest hunting gear, equipment, outfitters, and land management. Learn from expert seminar speakers and bring your buck for the Trophy Deer Contest with more ways to win big. Fueled by Toyota, the official truck, and Tacticam, the official cell camera of the Open Season Sportsman's Expo. Get discounted tickets now at OpenSeasonSportsman'sExpo.com.
It's never a bad time to fire up the grill. At Billiards Plus, the grilling season never ends. While you're grill shopping, you'll love browsing Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Take your shot to save at Great Lakes Hyundai. Shoot the hoop to get extra savings on your new car purchase. On top of big shot savings like 0% financing on 26 Hyundai Santa Fe's and Tucson's for up to 5 years. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. It's the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Dublin or Columbus or GLakesHyundai.com. With proof credit, some customers may not qualify. Interest to cruise during no payment period. New Hyundais come equipped with owner assurance and America's Best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Offer ends 3/31.
Join our resident gambling degenerates, Steve Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money. Sunday mornings at 9.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
The Fan.
The Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is the place to be for all the basketball action. Watch every game at once on 2 video walls spanning 50 feet, plus over 30 TVs. Come show off your jump shot in our King of the Court drawings and take home memorabilia from a Cleveland basketball legend. We've also got unbeatable game day food and drinks all season long. Guarantee your spot. Reserve a table with up to $300 in dining credits at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Bacon, sausage, egg, cheese, made from scratch biscuits, fresh baked croissants, cinnamon swirl French toast. Hungry? Grab a hot UDF breakfast sandwich made in store for your morning. UDF, mornings made for you.
Hey, Columbus, big news. For a limited time, get Uber One free for a full year so you could save on food and rides. That's a $96 value on us. Just use code Columbus. Get 1 year of $0 delivery fees, 10% off eligible food and grocery orders, and up to 6% Uber One credits on rides. Sign up for this limited time offer today using code Columbus and save big with Uber One. Offer valid through 3/31/26. Savings and $0 delivery fee on eligible orders and rides only. Fees and terms apply. See app for details.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. We firmly believe it's appropriate to tailgate before a youth soccer game. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
This is a great day to tailgate. The sun's trying.
Yeah.
It's trying to peek out. Looks like you're dipping into the upper 40s temperature-wise. Get a sweatshirt, some jeans on, tailgating outside the Schottenstein Center. We're less than an hour from tip-off between Ohio State and Howard. The Columbus Crew are playing in Toronto at 1 o'clock, and the Blue Jackets have the Kraken at 5 o'clock. We'll have fan pregame coverage at 4 o'clock. Dylan Tyrer, we're making him work an extra 30 minutes, but we're not paying him anymore.
Nope. That's the way we do things.
Like Bill, I always told Tyvus, is bill him.
Yeah.
You got to question Bill.
Yeah.
I always tell you no.
You can always say, I got the decimal point wrong, or I added one too more.
I didn't mean to do that.
That was my bad.
It's the ultimate ask forgiveness.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
You're not going to pay me anyway. But
now that I said it out loud, when it does actually happen, I try to use the excuse. Fish is going to tell me I'm crazy and say you
are crazy.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
Thanks to everybody for jumping in the YouTube chat. We appreciate you. 9 o'clock, your crazies are up with us. We appreciate however much time you give this program as you go about your Saturday and your weekend. This from Hummus Hero. We were talking about the NCAA and them trying to tweak the targeting rules, but in my opinion, not really getting it right. He says, I like the idea of 2 separate penalties, but would you trust them to actually get it correctly called? They would probably overturn the malicious ones for no penalty at all.
Fair point.
You make targeting a 15-yarder. You don't kick the kid out of the game. Don't suspend him for any length of time. Maybe if there's a malicious one, you can go back at the end of the game, like the Big Ten conference,
sure.
They'll review all sorts of things, and then maybe issue something if you find it was malicious.
Sure,
but I don't know how you properly adjudicate it on the field.
Well, and all it's going to do then, if you're going to go to that extent. Mm-hmm. Then it's going to it'll lengthen the game.
Well, isn't that what unnecessary roughness is for?
You have already a penalty established.
Yes.
It's just,
at that point.
It's just silly. How's your bracket doing? I know people love hearing personal bracket talk.
That's right up there with how's your golf round?
You're probably getting killed by your kids.
Yes. See,
I haven't won a bracket since Carmelo Anthony took Syracuse to the national championship. I still do a physical bracket every year.
So you still do one?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks to Bishop and Friends, we have tremendous listeners on the fan, but one of our loyal listeners, or 2 of our loyal listeners, I should say, Connor and Chris, set up a Bishop and Friends bracket challenge, and we got about 270 participants before that noon deadline on Thursday. I am 237th.
Okay. Yeah, my 9-year-old son already is just... He's been kicking my butt.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely demolishing me. And as a matter of fact, yesterday, and for whatever reason, he had Miami, Ohio going to the Sweet 16. Until that happened, out of the more than 30 million brackets on ESPN, he was in the top 1%. Now he's still in the top 13% or so.
That's like when Lee Corso, that's what you should do in that moment, like what Lee Corso did with Indiana.
Take the picture.
Take the picture.
Yep, you're right.
At one point, I was this.
Yes. And so he's in the top 13%. And he's got a ranking of around now it's like 3 million something. But I'm like at 21 millionth is where I'm at. I'm in the bottom 21%. Yeah. So and he's telling me all about it every time. It gets annoying. So I'm doing my day job on Thursday and Friday, and he's coming down throughout there. Hey, Dad, check the bracket. So where am I at on that? Where am I at now? I'm like, dude, I'm working. Check it. Dad, can you check it?
It's 1 in 281 trillion, the last odds I see for getting a perfect bracket.
I think there's one on ESPN that still has one.
Still one?
Yeah.
I got 4 double-digit seeds remaining. I think the average margin in terms of first-round games is 17.5 points, which is
Huge.
The most in almost 20 years. Cinderella is still kind of alive, but I think in the NIL era, we'll talk about the first game of the day today between St. Louis and Michigan coming up in a couple minutes. But if St. Louis is able to poach Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from Illinois State, or Indiana State, I should say, pay him a couple $1 million, is that Cinderella?
Probably. It's a Cinderella program.
Okay.
Not a Cinderella story necessarily.
Does it exist if you've got that kind of a war chest?
I don't know how much all these other schools have on those kinds of things, but, if you're pouring all your money into one guy, which they could be doing,
It is enough for them. Billikens are on, and a Billiken's like a mythical luck creature, so I'm always a fan of
that's what a Billiken is?
Quirky mascots.
Okay.
I don't know if I got the verbiage correct on it, but it's like a sprite, like a little fairy devil creature is what a Billiken is. Nate, I saw you Googling feverishly. Did you?
It's a good luck charm.
Good luck charm. There you go.
I'm seeing here it is a charm doll created by American art teacher and illustrator Florence Pretz of Kansas City, Missouri.
All right. As far as mascots go, that's pretty cool. And with this, Tyler talked about, players for Howard, that the stories are awesome, that the schools like all of that you never think about throughout the year, and that kind of come into the national consciousness now is great.
Further on AI, it says the chubby, grinning figure became a cultural sensation, much like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Right? I mean, that's exactly what it is.
You added that last part.
Yes.
Much like.
Yes, that part was that was
LeBron
T.I.
frames.
That was Tito intelligence. T.I., not the rapper. T.I.
I'm looking at. So Robbie Avila is their best player. They got Michigan. So one of the best teams and one of the best players and stories of the NCAA tournament. Your first game of the day will be a 9-1 matchup in the Midwest. Michigan's a 12.5-point favorite in this. And then you got Louisville, Michigan State at 2:45, TCU and Duke, Texas A&M at Houston. Texas and Gonzaga, I think, will be an interesting game. One of the players I really wanted out of the portal was Dalen Swain.
Yeah.
From Columbus. I thought he'd been a great addition.
Yep.
Their playing game against NC State, I think he had like 2 turnovers in the first couple of minutes. But he's really, one of the engines of that team. And they got some big, I don't want to say Lithuanian. I just kind of lump all gigantic
those
Eastern
guys,
Europeans
big non-American
into that. But I don't know.
All 4 number 8 seeds lost.
How about that? Yeah, I saw Villanova go down yesterday, and Kevin Willard firing his staff
at halftime. And then he comes back and says it was a joke, just a joke. No, it wasn't. You're mad at that point. You're
allowed to be mad. I mean, Mick Cronin's perpetually mad.
But if I'm, he is.
So
if I'm an assistant coach, I'm looking for another job right now. That's just that's a bogus, man. It's BS to do something like that to your staff.
Did Willard come over from Maryland?
I think you might be right.
Didn't he leave that situation in a bad, he left in a bad spot there too? I think
might be right.
He had the Terrapins in the tournament, and then there was discussion of him being the next head coach at Villanova, and I think he emphatically said no, and then all of a sudden, after the dance was done by Maryland, he was
you might be right about that.
The coach of Villanova.
Yeah.
Maryland, by the way, I heard Rothman and I was talking about the last time for the Big Ten winning a national championship, and they said, 2000 Michigan State, and I go, wait a minute, Maryland. Conference claims it. Nobody should.
I know.
That's an ACC championship. Who's got the best shot this year to end that 25-year streak, 25-year drought, I should say, for the Big Ten? We'll discuss that next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
It's a new month and a new reason to visit Germain Honda of Dublin. Right now, take advantage of great low rates on select certified pre-owned models all month long. You'll get the reliability you trust, the value you want, and payments that make sense. And the wait is over. The all-new Honda Prelude has arrived with precision suspension and responsive hybrid performance. Great rates, awesome vehicles. Only at Germain Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, or online at GermainHondaofDublin.com.
Winning isn't everything, but at Tim Hortons, every day's a chance to win when you play Roll Up to Win. Maybe it's a free coffee or donut, or a year's supply of fuel from Shell. That goes a long way. Maybe it's a Kobo e-reader, or up to $1,000 in Uber Eats gift cards, or even a VIP getaway to see Cirque du Soleil. Okay, not something you win every day. Roll Up to Win, only at Tim Hortons. No purchase necessary. 18 plus. Ends March 22nd, 2026. Tim Hortons app required for digital game. Use the app to reveal digital rules. Game cups while supplies last. Offer a chance to win food and beverage prizes only. See official rules at rolluptowin.com.
Columbus, you hungry? Good thing Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at Scramblers. From now to 3/31, get a buy one, get one free deal on Manhandler Skillet on the app. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details.
With all that can go wrong at your home, it's enough to make you want to say, oh, brother. With Brothers Roofing and Construction, one call covers it all. Roofing, siding, rotting decks, we cover it all. So visit us online at brothersroofingconstruction.com.
The Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is the place to be for all the basketball action. Watch every game at once on 2 video walls spanning 50 feet, plus over 30 TVs. Come show off your jump shot in our King of the Court drawings and take home memorabilia from a Cleveland basketball legend. We've also got unbeatable game day food and drinks all season long. Guarantee your spot. Reserve a table with up to $300 in dining credits at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Camping World is now open in Sunbury. The celebration starts now, and you're invited. Join us from March 19th to the 22nd for our grand opening block party with special pricing on a huge selection of new and used RVs. Enjoy free food, fun on-site activities, and exciting giveaways. Plus, enter for a chance to win a brand new RV. As part of America's #1 RV network, Camping World brings you more value and more ways to enjoy life on the road. Don't miss the grand opening block party at Camping World in Sunbury. We'll see you there.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save big on varieties of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Polar Seltzer water. Select packs or buy 3, get 3 free with your card. Limit 12. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Nate Putterwell with your sports update. The Ohio State women's basketball team begins dancing today. It's the first round of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. The third-seeded Buckeyes play host to 14th seed Howard out at the Shot. Tip comes your way at 11:30 a.m. We'll have fan coverage coming your way at 11:15 immediately following Fan Sports Saturday. The Columbus Blue Jackets are on an 11-game point streak. They look to extend that to 12 this afternoon as they take on the Kraken. Puck drops at 5. Catch all the action right here on the Fan. And it's the second round of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. The action kicks off at noon as top-seeded Michigan takes on St. Louis. Other Big Ten teams in action today see third-seeded Sparty taking on 6th-seed Louisville, third-seed Illinois taking on 11th-seed VCU, and 4th-seed Nebraska matching up with 5th-seed Vanderbilt. Other action sees Duke taking on TCU, Houston and Texas A&M squaring off, Gonzaga and Texas, and High Point taking on Arkansas. Breaking sports news, what happens to the Fan? Ohio Sports Destination.
Live, local, and still slightly drunk.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment.
This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Take away the opponent. Take away the name. I know this might be difficult. Are we rooting for TCU? I know it's Duke, so you're always rooting for Duke, I guess, just to lose. But say it were say it were Arizona. Say whoever it is. It's St. John's, Kansas. You rooting for TCU to make a run?
I'm not. I don't
think I am either.
I
just want Duke to lose, so I guess today I am.
I like the Blue Bloods making runs and, then see what happens. I'm not necessarily going to say I'm rooting for Duke in a final against somebody.
It is funny that, like, Duke, the overall #1 seed, and you got the hardest bracket by far.
Oh, yeah.
The East region's the beast of this.
Yeah.
Because I looked to Michigan, and you heard Nate there in the update. They're the first game of the day, taking on LeBron Frames and the St. Louis Billikens. That Midwest... Gosh, Alabama's without their second leading scorer.
Right.
Tennessee, Virginia. I don't love Kentucky. Needed a half-court heave just to get overtime against Santa Clara.
Yep.
I mean, Iowa State put it on Tennessee State. Michigan, man, they're not going to run to the Final Four, but they might briskly walk.
Yes. By the way, just days after being hired in 2022, Kevin Willard allegedly told a Maryland booster, "I've never seen a place that cares less about winning in basketball than this."
That's right. I remember that.
So that didn't go well for him. He complained all the time about, or complained often.
Out, like, explicitly to the media.
Yeah, about NIL.
Maryland and their lack of NIL.
Yeah, lack of money they had there. And then he had said he wanted to come back, but then the AD who hired him left for SMU around that time when the Villanova thing was going, and so he went there. I did not realize this, but Villanova this year when they played Georgetown, in Maryland there, a bunch of Maryland fans, I guess, showed up to boo him.
I saw that with Xavier fans in the first four. They showed up to boo Sean Miller in Texas.
Willard, after the game, Wildcats won 80-73. This is back in February. He said they wasted a Saturday. I know what the F they're doing. I mean, they got nothing better to do on a Saturday than to come look at my bald ass. I don't know what they're doing. Later said he loved Maryland. Yeah, what is bald ass they were looking at was his bald head.
Yes.
Just say, unless I look, I don't know. I didn't see the highlights. I'm not sure. I'm not.
Tell you what, if you're making a couple million at Villanova, you can afford an ass waxing.
Said he loved Maryland. It was very well done.
Think I'd be doing that today, huh?
That's pretty good. Put that on your bingo card if you had Eric saying that. He's very passionate about my job, he said. So, anyway, jerk.
I won't use the word that we are. We're prostitutes. Tito, you and I can be bought.
Oh, we're media whores.
How? Okay. Yeah, valid.
Yeah.
How much to get your ass waxed?
Guarantee I'll still have a show a year from now.
Okay.
If they guaranteed that for me.
You hear so many personalities on this station talk about wellness products. I think waxing services, that's a boutique thing.
Sure.
I'm for sale.
Yeah. I got a vasectomy for $500 at the Fan.
There you go.
You know?
All right.
Hey, anything.
Throw that out into the universe.
Anything is negotiable.
So we got 7 Big Ten teams remaining in the Big Dance. Of those 7, yeah, I think it's Michigan I have the most faith in to make a run. To actually, or not make a run, win the national championship.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of faith in any other Big Ten team winning the Natty, but it wouldn't surprise me to see several of them in the Elite 8.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Illinois is damn good.
Yeah.
And Purdue is also, I know you're not a big Matt Painter.
I don't trust Matt Painter.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the issue with Purdue. It's like, I actually do think Purdue could win it all if Matt Painter wasn't their coach. It's like the James Franklin of college basketball.
Could they lose to Miami tomorrow? I could see it. It shouldn't, but this is the Matt Painter at Purdue. So
I actually think they're a better matchup against like Duke than Michigan is.
So weird. You got Iowa taking on Florida, Nebraska, Vanderbilt. Thrilled for Nebraska and for their fans. Their radio announcer's been doing the thing for 41 years, and you got to see them actually win an NCAA tournament game. That's really cool.
Now, Nebraska. No, because Nebraska.
I don't trust them to win it. I just say it's a cool story.
It's not because of the way that the way they robbed us in football. They should never. They got to the Big Ten with all this history and everything, and they've sucked ever since they got here. Tom Osborne's not walking through that door.
But that's not on the basketball.
It's on the whole school.
Okay.
It's anybody from Nebraska.
That's fair.
I had that prejudice. I liked people from Nebraska. When I first got here, I met people from Nebraska at the Ohio State-Nebraska game. Thought they were very friendly. I was, as I like to call myself, I'm a city sports ambassador. Unofficially.
Okay. Wow.
And so
I like that title for you.
Yes, it's a good one. Whenever I see, like when Ohio State played Texas here years ago, back in the Carpenter days, and I met Texas fans, welcomed them warmly into the shoe. Same thing with Nebraska fans.
Okay.
But Nebraska fans have done
true
nothing.
Ambassador.
That's why I'm seeing about. If I go to a Jackets game and I meet a Bruins fan, I'll reach out the hand. Welcome to our city. I'm Tito, City Sports Ambassador.
At this end of the YouTube chat from Michael, quick question for the guys. Why is it Ohio State women's basketball has had more success than the men's basketball team? He adds, at least that's what it feels like to me. It's a simple answer. I think it's coaching and recruiting. I think Kevin McGuff has recruited better players relative to the game.
Sure.
And I think Kevin McGuff's done a better job coaching than Chris Holtman and in Jake Diebler's case right now. Doesn't mean they can't turn it around. Doesn't mean Jake Diebler can't become, but this is Jake Diebler's second year as a head coach ever. McGuff's been at some incredible programs before coming to Ohio State. He had Kelsey Plummet at Washington.
He was at Notre Dame. He was at who's the one head coach that was there that he like
Muffet?
Yeah, Muffet.
McGraw?
There was something.
That sounds like a cartoon character.
It does. There was something that went on with 9/11 though, where like McGuff had a conversation with her or something about doing a crew. Anyway, something happened around 9/11 to where she did not get on a plane that ended up being one of the 4.
Oh.
But McGuff was at Notre Dame then at that point. I know the whole story, but Google it. Google me. But anyway.
All right, Kurt.
Yeah. And McGuff, what you've had with the women's team is a consistent vision since McGuff's been there. He plays the same way, recruits the same kind of players, and they do that 40 minutes of hell.
Yep.
No matter what the makeup, he makes sure the roster is made up that way, but it's been consistency, Eric, and that's what it is. We haven't had that since Thad left.
Yep.
You know, the Holtman thing was wildly inconsistent.
Yes.
And, you know, the first couple years of Diebler, you know, same
it's
kind of
been
thing.
Inconsistent.
Inconsistent also.
I think that's what still hurts about the TCU thing because they made great adjustments coming out of the second half.
Yeah.
But it was just too inconsistent. Yeah. You fall into a 15-point hole, and you fight your ass off to get out of it.
Right.
But it's just too inconsistent from half to half. And so that's got to get better.
And that's the difference. I know McGuff hasn't won the big one yet. Hasn't made it to the Final Four yet. I get all that. And he might never make it to the Final Four. I hope he does. Might never. But the Ohio State men's team would love to have this kind of success in their in the men's basketball program. They would love to have that kind of success that McGuff's enjoying at Ohio State. He's worked his ass off for. His bald ass. He's not bald. I'm kidding.
Kevin McGuff's not bald.
I know it's a joke. I just wanted to say bald ass again on the radio.
Kevin Willard?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I think Willard's kind of taken over the disgruntled coach title from Mick Cronin.
No, Mick Cronin still does. Yes, I still think it's Mick Cronin.
I like Mick Cronin as a villain, but him and Bobby Hurley, is that tomorrow at 8:45?
Him and Dan Hurley.
Dan Hurley.
Yeah.
Bobby Hurley got fired.
Hurley got fired,
Yeah.
yes.
You got two. This is another thing I like interesting in March. And so what Dan Hurley versus Mick Cronin, UConn and UCLA give us, that's all part of why we love this so much. It was Terrace Reed for UConn, carried them past Furman 82-71. He had 35 points in that win.
Right.
All it takes is one player to get hot. I picked Arkansas in my bracket because they've
35 and 27 rebounds.
Yeah. I don't think that's ever been done. That kind of production. And that's one guy is all that really, Acuff for Arkansas is why I've got the Razorbacks. And I think their draw is also pretty favorable. Our Arizona's great, but out of the West region, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And that's why it stings and it's going to sting for Ohio State fans as long as Dusty May at Michigan, as long as John Calipari in Arkansas continue to be successful in March. Because they were hired at the same time as Jake Diebler. And fair or not, you're always going to be compared to that.
I was going to say that I don't think that Ohio State fans, regardless of what Calipari does, I don't think Ohio State fans would have embraced him anyway.
Well, you never know. I mean, I disagree.
See, you do, really?
Yeah, I think he would have been embraced. I think that would have been a complete turnover, a complete 180 from Holtman. And I don't know if the wins, I don't know if they would have won any more with Calipari. I think they probably would in the 2 years with Calipari.
I would think they would have,
2 years of Diebler. But I think everything becomes different with Coach Cal at Ohio State.
Isn't it almost like hiring Lane Kiffin?
No.
Because
Calipari wins.
He does win, but he always leaves and then stuff goes sideways.
Yeah, but if you tell me I can get 5 years of John Calipari, I'm taking it because he wins. And Lane
doesn't.
Yeah.
I was going to say Bobby Petrino, but it's not at that extreme. Petrino doesn't win either. I'm trying to think of a coach that won, but I mean, Pete Carroll won at USC, then left. They were on probation or they had all these infractions. I just feel like that's what follows Calipari. When he left UMass, they had all kinds of stuff.
But if you get a 5-year tournament run or a national championship.
But that's the pay you would. Oh, I don't know if I'd like
I would take yeah.
NCAA issues followed O'Brien. No one cared after a year or two.
So the O'Brien stuff was laughable. Why the sanctions there. Nowadays, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
And even with the toothlessness of the NCAA, they had Bill Self on a FBI wiretap.
Right.
And then a month later, almost a month, I don't know how their difference in time when they had him on the wiretap versus when they handed him the national championship trophy. Yeah. There are rules here. So if you're gonna win, that's all you want. You know, I go to the program apathy that I'm so glad for Jake Diebler for turning the thing around from where it was going to fall into a pit of apathy because you can hardly recruit with apathy, but you damn sure can't fundraise. And in an NIL era, that's the most important thing and why one of his jobs this offseason is going to be to hire a GM that can handle that and then the roster allocation. I think we've been actually better today with our clock allocation.
We have been better today, yes.
And we do have to go out now to the Schottenstein Center, the Jerome Schottenstein Center, because Kevin McGuff and the Ohio State women's basketball team have a big one against Howard. Winner today gets either Notre Dame or Fairfield at the Schott on Monday. Hear those games on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan.